Welcome to the conversation, Quad Cities. But first, the Dawn.
Good afternoon, Quad Cities! Thursday, January 30th. And that's, look at that. 1 minute, 2 seconds in, and what? 13 words, and I already messed up. Thursday, January 30th, 2020. What the heck?
That was me.
Oh. We're here in the Hassel Castle. We got a crazy, exciting show today. It's all over the place. Bomber's still in here with us.
Hey.
T-Roy, I think he comes back tomorrow. Not in the studio, though. I don't really know what his plan is.
He'll come busting through the door like
There you go.
105. Oh, yeah.
Stat Cat's over there on the Facebook Live comment thread.
I am in the studio.
I will get his camera up and moving here soon.
Everybody's really concerned.
Yeah.
I want to see what heck
We're live on Facebook Live. Thank you for listening to ESPN 1170 AM and listen on your smartphone. I got a guest coming in at 12:30. He's a 49er fan. I talked to him. It was actually over dinner.
You talked to a Niners fan?
Yeah, but I said, hey, I'm going to contact somebody. I happen to know he's a 49er fan. I hope they have time. Which the reply was, I'm a 49er fan. I said, yeah, but you work from 12 to 2. He's like, I'll make time for this. I said, if you come in, you got to tell me why they're going to win. I mean, come in. Don't give me this, well, it's been this many years, I want, boom, I'm a fan. Here's why.
Okay.
So,
Fair.
my guy, Dan Escontrias, is going to be in. Dan is, he's the John Oates to my Daryl Hall.
Ooh.
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
So, I guess, or other way around, I don't know, however you want to I can't wait to have him in. Good guy. In the second hour, we're going to have Adam Rosso on. And this is a good for it to have him on because we get to preview the Iowa game tonight. We get to preview the Iowa wrestling meet with him as well. We're going to make predictions on the scores. At 1:45, we're going to draw the winner of who gets the tickets. They're right here in my hand, by the way. Who gets the tickets? These seats are incredible. And the parking pass as well. For the Iowa versus Penn State. Number 1 versus number 2. First time this has happened since 1986. That Iowa's won, Penn State was number 2. Iowa hasn't won this meet in 5 years. The last time they beat Penn State was 5 years ago.
All right. It's a good one to go to. I'd be stoked.
Also got some little tip before the show that there's going to be some changes in Class 4A football next year. We're going to talk about that with Rosso. It is a cluster. I mean, Serge,
I'm intrigued.
I mean, when we talk about it, when we break it down, get a scratch paper.
That bad.
Yes. If I was an athletic director, I would not be happy about this.
Ooh. I can make a phone call.
Yeah, that's actually a good, he might be able to break down why the idea of doing this is.
Yeah.
But I know I did send the idea of the text to Rosso. He knows a little bit about it. I gave him a little bit of prep, so we'll talk about that as well, but that's in the second hour. We've got, we're getting closer and closer to the big game. Super Bowl. I thought about that this morning, Serge, how you ended the show yesterday. And I was like, are we allowed to say that? No.
I don't care.
Yeah, I don't either.
We do. Super Bowl. Sunday.
Listen to
Big game.
Yeah,
Super day.
I know. Listen to all kinds of prep that you can have for it, for the actual big game. Some other notes going on here, just if you're interested in a prop bet. Bill Vinovich has been named the head referee for Super Bowl 54.
Okay.
This will be the second title game for the veteran, who is also the referee at Super Bowl 49 between the New England Patriots and Seattle Seahawks. He has spent 14 years as an official in the NFL, including 11 as a referee. This will be his second game in the postseason after he worked the Tennessee Titans' divisional round upset over the Baltimore Ravens. He's worked 13 playoff games in his career, but most notably, he was in charge of the crew during last year's NFC Championship game between the Los Angeles Rams and New Orleans Saints. The non-call on the obvious pass interference that led to a rule change in 2019 that allowed these types of calls to be reviewed. but he is still rated as one of the most consistent referees, and usually his crew is as well. Quote from ESPN's Kevin Seifert: his crew usually average the fewest penalties per game in the league, producing crisp games with maximum focus on players and coaches. His crew averages 11.63 penalties per game in 2019, below the league average of 13.4. That being said, what do you think the first thing I did knowing that it's 11.63 flags per game?
Look up the bets.
Look up the prop bets. And I tell you what, that town is something else.
Yeah.
This gambling thing.
It's fun, isn't it?
These people are something else.
So fun.
The total penalties in the game, the prop bet, is 11.5. They did their research too.
Nailed it. Yep.
Before this article came out, they had this already set up. They did their research.
Over or under?
I say over. The under is actually minus 125. The over is plus 105.
I think you're right.
It's accepted penalties over. Offsetting declined penalties do not count. So, I just feel like, I know we talked about on Monday the prop bets, like on the first drive will be a penalty. I think there will be. I think there'll be offside. I think there's nerves involved. I think that's natural.
I don't think so. I disagree with you. Not during the Super Bowl. No. I just don't.
The 2 weeks to prepare. That's the other thing, though. A lot of it, when you have 2 weeks to prepare, a lot of those offensive series are scripted. That it becomes the muscle memory that there isn't. So, yeah, that's why gambling's so fun.
It is. It's risky. That's why it's so fun.
Yeah. Other news. Did you guys see this at all? That who was it? Here it is. The gentleman, an Astros fan. There's a website. We'll look it up. Tony Adams spent the last few weeks sorting through every home game that is available video from the 2017 season. He watched 58 games. He watched 8,274 pitches.
Right?
There were trash can bangs in 1,143. Trash can bangs. Trash can bangs. Bangs. In 1,143 of those pitches watched. It was 13.8 pitches. Percent of the pitches. 13.8% of the pitches. Yep. The most important thing about this is how they abruptly fell on a game on September 22nd. And the reason why that's important is the day before they were playing White Sox pitcher Danny Farquhar.
Yep.
And he said,
I love him in track.
he said one. He said, good. He said that one, it felt like they knew what they were pitching, and that he thought he could hear a noise every time he threw an off-speed pitch.
Yeah.
The very next day, it drops off completely because they've been outed.
Dun, dun, dun.
Yeah. So things like everything it varies from player to player that they found. Bangs could be heard in 18.1% of the pitches that Carlos Beltran faced during the 58 games covered in the study, while that number plummets to 2.8% for Jose Altuve. Meaning more off-speed pitches were coming for Beltran than they were Altuve. This is, Bobby was on yesterday and he's like, could this be any worse for baseball? And it is really bad. Like, that you can break this down and that it just happened. And is this a problem that the baseball players themselves got off that easy?
Yes.
Because now it's just kind of like,
Absolutely.
Because now it's just kind of like, well, if I just cooperate, if I become a witness for the state, I won't get in trouble.
Witnesses, they can deny everything and just keep their mouth shut. Nope, didn't happen. Nope, didn't happen. Nope. They're just going to deny everything. Because I think they already missed the window on reprimanding them. Could they still go back? Sure. But I don't think they're going to. They're not going to go back on Altuve. They're not going to go back on any of these other players.
No.
They had their opportunity to do that all together at the same time when penalties came down.
Yeah.
You get stitches, guys.
Well, that's kind of what. I forget the young lady's name who does Sunday Night Baseball. She kind of said the same thing, and now they're talking about taking her off the air.
Why? Because she's right?
Huh?
Because she's right?
Well, I mean, she said that you don't talk about that thing. You don't go out in public. You leave it in the clubhouse type of situation. There's just like a lot of things that that's hurt baseball. All right. Legalized gambling doesn't hurt baseball, but the fact that the league is embracing it, and you still have the Pete Rose situation over your head. All right. You can't punish someone and say what a bad person this is, but you embrace it in your day-to-day operations now.
Yeah.
The Astro scandal we talked about as well. I said the financial punishment wasn't worth it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, $5 million wasn't a big deal, and I say that like it's not a big deal, but it is. But I didn't think it was for the Astros, and I unfortunately think Dusty Baker is just a person that you're putting on there to be like, no, he's well respected. He even said the thing. Hopefully, I'm going to bring integrity back to the game. I mean, he's what they call a transition champion in professional wrestling. He's a transition coach.
That's all he can say.
Yes. I mean, that's what he is. He's a transition coach until they get an analytics guy that they want to
his words. No, publicists wrote that for him. This is what you say when they ask you. What are your intentions here? How are you going to include this?
Dusty Baker is not the way that... Dusty Baker is not the way that baseball franchises want to go. They want to go by analytics. They want Moneyball 2.0, 3.0, 4.0. Not a guy who's going to go, hey, who's going to go pitch counts. What are those?
Speaking of the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Okay. Remember wardrobe malfunction, a.k.a. Nipplegate?
Yeah.
Okay. So that was so risque. Big, huge controversy.
Just a nipple.
40-year-old nipple on a Sunday afternoon.
Careful.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Remember what they did the next year?
What?
Paul McCartney.
Oh, yeah. I know.
They went as vanilla as possible the next year.
It wasn't until they brought back Prince that everyone was worried about everything, right? Yeah. They did go very vanilla.
Yeah. And that was done on purpose.
You don't think the nip slip was on purpose?
Oh, partially.
I think it was all part of it.
What is the story behind it? Did they say?
JT,
I remember where I was when it happened. I'm just saying, like,
by the end of the song.
yeah, what's the story?
Yeah.
It had to be
her
like,
little Gene was like, it was too easy. You can't just pull a piece of a costume off that right when it says it's gonna have you naked by the end of this
It's
song.
supposed to be mining, taking her shirt off, and it just happened to come off.
Yeah, just ironically right there.
you guys really think that it was staged?
Yes.
100%.
Maybe Janet Jackson relevant again. You want to know what we're doing? We're still talking about it.
Janet Jackson's relevant in my world.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's hanging in there.
Yeah.
Good job. See what money does.
Wasn't some Janet Jackson in the break.
Miss Jackson is nasty.
All right, we're going to take our first break. When I come back, I'm going to tell you where the Sharps are at for the Iowa-Maryland game tonight. Iowa's ranked 18th, Maryland's ranked 15th. It's a 7:30 game tonight. We're going to take a look. There's 3 college games tonight. And I'll tell you where the Sharps are at, but most importantly, where Iowa and Maryland, where the Sharps fall on tonight's game.
Hey, Quad City, stop going to your favorite social media sites asking for suggestions of where to get your oil change, who does the best tattoo work, or the best place for lunch in the Quad Cities. Pick up your Locals Love Us guide. They have an easy-to-navigate table of contents to help you find whatever you're looking for. Or go to their website at localsloveus.com, click on Quad Cities, and then browse the favorites. It's so easy to use, they even rank the most popular places for you. That's Locals Love Us, your guide to the best.
This is Ella Schmidt, the 106-pounder for Bettendorf, and you are listening to Don't Hassle Us, We're Local.
I can
ESPN
hear it.
11:70 p.m. And now an old classic commercial from Mark Brenny.
Excuse me.
Hey, this is the ladies' room, you freak!
Sorry, ma'am. We just sold this bike here.
So why do you have motorcycles in the bathroom?
Well, you see, Brenny's just received the new Suzuki motorcycles and ATVs that have been on order and are finally here. Along with all the parts and new Suzuki accessories, there's just no space left. Just a few short years ago, we built a 20,000 square foot showroom. And now with all this new inventory, we don't have squat for room. Excuse the pun.
Very funny. Hey, you know I do like this new Suzuki motorcycle.
You should see the GSXRs we got in the men's bathroom, or the 1200 Bandit, or the Marauder that we keep down in the wine cellar. Come to think of it, I've never been in the ladies' bathroom before. Wow, look at all the latex vending machines you got in here.
That's Playtex.
Yuck, now I gotta go.
Bernie's Motorcycle Clinic in Bettendorf across from Alcoa. Almost.
At Crawford Company, we specialize in plumbing, heating, and air conditioning. Sports, on the other hand?
Hey, Crawford guy, go long!
No, I can't.
Here comes the pitch to Crawford guy. Strike 3.
Come on, Crawford guy, take the shot.
Sports may not be our specialty, but home comfort is. Crawford Company, plumbing and drain cleaning, heating and air conditioning.
Storm Hockey returns to the TaxSlayer Center this weekend. Friday is 90s night presented by Athletico. Get to your seats early for $2 beers and hot dogs until the puck drops. And on Saturday, Hockey Fights Cancer Night presented by Unity Point Health Trinity. The Storm battled the Peoria Rivermen in the Cold War on 74 and will be wearing Hockey Fights Cancer jerseys. It'll be auctioned off after the game to raise money for the Unity Point Health Trinity Cancer Center. Get your tickets for both games online at QuadCityStorm.com.
Open the ESPN 1170 app to listen live, to win stuff, and to sign up for breaking news alerts. Never miss a thing from the Quad Cities sports leader, ESPN 1170 AM.
Say that again, and welcome back to Don't House Us, We're Local on ESPN 1170. All right,
Nothing.
somehow our off-air comments went from the Super Bowl to the Bud Light Seltzer Power Rankings.
Slash Surge's March comeback.
Yeah. The Seltzer, Bud Light
The march
Seltzer.
away from sobriety.
Bud Light.
In a world.
Bud Light
Yes.
Seltzer. Wasted.
My favorite.
My Bud Light Seltzer Power Rankings, which, by the way, if you're out at this, if you're looking for something refreshing to have for the big day,
For breakfast.
the big game, not for breakfast.
Oh.
What do you mean?
Go ahead and stop and get it. Oh yeah, you can for breakfast. I don't care, whatever you do.
Beers for breakfast around here, Jay. Drink or be gone.
Drink and be gone. I'll stick to the beer. What are you having? What are you having, young
try
Flanagan?
Try a seltzer.
What are you having, young Flanagan? I'll stick to the beer. Beer is for breakfast around here.
You ever learn how to make a red eye?
You know.
I go all day on this
I
one.
know. Power rankings, Bud Light Seltzer. Mine is, mine was from one to last. It was Bud Light, yeah, black cherry,
1 to 4.
lime, mango, strawberry.
Oh, I thought you said lime.
Lime
Was
is
your
2.
favorite?
No, that's black cherry. But lime is the one I usually is my go-to, though.
And strawberry's your least
black
favorite.
cherry. Yeah.
See, I thought strawberry was going to be the best.
Yeah,
I
it's
think
not. It's the least flavorful.
And that's kind of what some consensus is saying. It's still good.
Strawberry's good. It's like The Circle on Netflix. You got to give it more than 2 drinks.
All right, so Natty Seltzer, if you're listening out there, makers of Natty Seltzer, they're very clever on their Twitter. Their Twitter's hilarious. They are very hip. They're funny. Their names of the seltzers. There's the Catalina Lime Mixer and the Aloha Beaches.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah.
The next one, I believe it's something House Party. It's like a cucumber lime.
Ooh, that would be delicious.
Yeah, they got another one out there. I got a name for it. I'll give you a little teaser right now. I'll let you guys think about it.
Okay. But we're waiting on that.
Yeah.
All right.
Fine.
Before we went to break.
The schnozberries taste like schnozberries.
Yes.
Oh,
that
that's a good one.
should be a name for Natty Lime Seltzer because their names are awesome.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
It's just a little tidbit that makes everybody kind of chuckle and maybe smile, feel a little bit better about the fact that they're drinking a seltzer.
But it's really manly.
Sure.
You have to be comfortable in your masculinity to drink a seltzer.
Take a claw.
All right. Tonight, 3 games. First game, a Big Ten matchup. It'll be at 6:30. It's Minnesota at Illinois. Minnesota's 11-9 on the year. Illinois is 15-5 and ranked 19th. Here's what the Sharps are looking at this one. The Big Ten Showdown looks like a blowout on paper, but Illinois has a much better record. They have won 6 in a row and is a short favorite on the home court against an unranked team. Illinois is also 11-1 at home, while Minnesota is 1-6 on the road. However, despite all of this, the line opened with Illinois listed as a short 5-point home favorite. The public is hammering the Illini, but smart money, the Sharps, have come down on the Gophers, dropping the line down from 5 to 4.5. Minnesota has value as a conference road dog and an unranked team versus ranked team. This is also the most heavily bet game of the night thus far across the board. It's in Vegas's eyes. The next game I'm going to give you will be the most bet game in our area. So this is the most heavy game. This is getting Minnesota excellent contrarian value. At 7:30, Iowa is at Maryland. Iowa's 15-5 on the year. They're ranked 18th. Maryland 16-4 on the year, ranked 15th. These ranked teams is going to have heavy public betting, just like I told you. Iowa's riding a 5-game winning streak, which began by beating Maryland 67-49 at Carver, and they were 2-point dogs. Maryland has won 3 in a row, most recently taking down Indiana 77-76 as 2.5-point road dogs. This line opened with the Terps listed at 5.5-point home favorites. The public sees two highly ranked teams, expects a close game, and says, "Give me the points! I'm taking the dog." However, despite more than 2/3 of the bets back in Iowa, the line has remained frozen at 5.5, even ticked up to 6 at some points, which signals a sharp fading the trendy dog. For those out there wondering what a sharp, what dog is, what a favorite is, I will tell you. All right? Sharps are the pros. Sharps are the guys who actually make a living off of gambling. They are the ones that drop 5-figure bets.
Mm-hmm.
They move the lines.
Right.
We don't move the lines.
I know.
We are considered the Joes, the public.
I'm good with that.
All right? A dog is a team that's getting points. Favorite is a team that's favored. All right, so what this says is that the Sharps are fading the trendy dog. Big Ten home favorites are 56% against the spread this season and 41-8 straight up. We've talked about this plenty of times. We've shared things and talked how hard it is to win on the road in Big Ten. And then the last game on the slot, that's what you do. You make some money, and then you know what you do? Before you go to
Spend
bed?
it.
Yeah, before you go to bed, you invest a little bit more. Gonzaga is ranked number 2 in the nation. They're 21-1. They're at Santa Clara, who is 17-5 on the year. The Zags entered the showdown ranked 2nd in the country.
In case you didn't hear me, Gonzaga.
If this tournament were to start today,
Phonies.
we know that they would be a 1 seed. The line opened up with Gonzaga listed as a big 16-point road favorite. There hasn't been much movement on the spread, but the total is where the money is, the smart money, the sharps. This total opened up at 158 and has quickly fallen to 156.5, signaling that the wise guys have hit the under. When the total is 150 or higher, the under is 55% this season. All right, so there's where the sharps are at. The sharps are on Maryland. The sharps are on the under tonight, and in the Gonzaga Santa Clara game, and the sharps are also taking the points from Minnesota on the road.
You know, my brother-in-law was a Gopher.
Really?
Really. Big boy.
He went to the University of Minnesota?
He sure did. He played football.
Chairs. But yeah, that's going to be a good game. Like I said, we talked about Iowa, and you know, we've mentioned with Bobby, and we'll talk with Ross in the second hour. It's just the team is, I don't know, it's just a lot of fun. There's like weird stories behind each one of them. I mean, you have like Mr. Basketball of Kentucky and like New Jersey. You have Luca. You have the Muscatine guy, Joe, and then you got McCaffrey, the local kid from Iowa City, and then the coach's kid too. So it's a lot of fun. I don't know where he just went, but my guy's here.
I saw him.
Yeah, we'll tell him to come in whenever he gets here or whatever else. So we're getting closer and closer. We got to bring in. So we've had Kansas City fans in here. We've got Bomber as a Kansas City fan. Last week we had one called Steve Manders. He's pulling for the 49ers because he's best friends with George Kittle or something. I don't know.
All right. Hey, Bomber.
Yes, sir.
Remember who I said I was pulling for in the Super Bowl? Like slightly?
Uh-huh.
Do you remember who it was?
Mm-hmm.
Who was it?
It was the 49ers.
It was the 49ers.
Mm-hmm.
I'm flipping sides.
Yes!
Do you have a reason?
Yes, I do.
What is it?
The Honey Badger.
Okay.
The Honey Badger is just hilarious. He's awesome. Do you see what he responded to Skip Bayless?
No.
Oh, gosh.
Are you talking?
Find this one.
Are you okay? Yeah.
So the Honey
Andy
Badger.
Reid?
Huh?
Andy Reid?
No.
Did you see Andy Reid's quote?
What?
I'll tell you when you're
What
done.
did he say? Where's the buffet?
You go first. What did Andy Reid say?
That's my quote. No, you go first because I have to find it.
Well, first of all, I do know a handful of fans from both sides. I am fairly impartial. I kind of want to see a good game, but I want to see something exciting. Would be cool too. I don't really care if it's a blowout. I just want to see something exciting. Good game would be better for history, for blah blah blah. I've always leaned towards the Niners. I like defense, but Mahomes is exciting. One of my friends that is a 49er fan, I saw on the way to the studio today. He was parked. He was getting in his car on the driver's side, obviously, as I was in the far right lane coming down fourth to turn up Brady. So I buzzed his tower and gave him a nice honk right behind him and scared the living crap out of him.
Really?
Yeah. But that's one of my Niner fan friends. So that was fun. And then Skip Bayless, let's find here what he said. Because he's been very, very vocal, as always, but he's plugging his undisputed Twitter account.
Yeah, he's got so many burner accounts.
Yeah, he does.
You know, he's been caught plenty of times, like burner accounts being like, "Tell him, Skip,
right?
You're the man." And like one time he accidentally used his own to be like, "Good point, Skip," and it was actually Skip Bayless commenting on his own post.
Oh Jesus!
Yeah. So I didn't.
Okay, here's the Andy Reid quote, and this is why I love this guy. So when Coach Andy Reid was asked about his 9 grandkids, he said, "They keep you young, and at the same time, they make you feel old. It's kind of like sweet and sour pork."
It's kind of like sweet and sour pork.
What? He makes everything relatable to food. Come on, it's hilarious.
Yeah, he is known for his appetite.
Well, it's no secret.
The thing about, all right, so there's all kinds of storylines, and everyone's like, "Oh, Andy Reid, he was only the 24th coach to coach in multiple Super Bowls. It'd be great if he won." I think the interesting thing about it is the idea of how he got hired in Philadelphia. And I think when we go back and you look at all these coaches and how they get hired, I think the one thing that it's the what the Philadelphia Eagles did when they hired him,
yeah,
is they reached out to all kinds of people that were in front offices of all over the NFL, and they just wanted names. It wasn't like who's the guy. What they wanted was, who is the person who's pays the most attention to detail? Who's the one that annoys you, that you have to say leave, that keeps asking why, collects all this data, and you just are like, what do you want to know that for? You know, just like, why do we line up this? Why do we break practice here? This and that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know, it's almost like the
overly analytical.
Yeah, but it's almost like your child too that just keeps saying why, and you're like, and after a while you think it's cute, and then you're like, knock it off.
Right.
And that's what he was when he was, and that's how he ended up getting the job. And when they came in, the thing, he just came in with notebooks, and he had things like top 10 lists of best tight end coaches in the league that he collected on his own.
Yeah,
and
he's super geeky like that.
So,
but it's amazing.
And it was a reluctant breakup with the Philadelphia Eagles when they fired him. When they let him go, in the press conference, they said he's going to be in their Ring of Honor someday.
Yeah.
You know, and then the Chiefs were fortunate enough to get him, and you know,
he forms relationships with the team too, which I love. He's not just a coach. It's not only professional. It's personal as well.
When he said, when talked about Mahomes, he said, "What do you look for in a quarterback?" And he's like, "Well, you look for a leader, but you also have to have someone who's got a sense of humor and can make fun of themselves."
Yep.
Meaning they're not vain. They're
Right.
not like, you know, and that's what you can see that kind of in Patrick Mahomes.
I hope he doesn't lose that, because the NFL can tarnish that. The ego can be inflated.
Well, that's a great point, Bomber, because the projection is that he's going to be a $200 million quarterback. He's going to be the first $40 million man.
I'm his biggest supporter. I'm his biggest advocate. You know that. So
There's
I just hope he keeps grounded like he is.
He's going
right
to
now.
be the new point for quarterbacks or whatever else, and he's going to be $40 million.
Oh, I believe it.
Yeah, 45 years, $40 million a year.
So that's the thing, is like Skip Bayless is just so. Shut up, Skip. Sorry, but he doesn't know. But he's like a white Stephen A.
But they still started on the. I mean, they had their. Well, Skip, by the way, Skip was very good about covering SMU back in the day.
He was,
but go on. But
I agree with him twice a year on something random. You know,
that's same way I feel about Colin Cowherd.
He's bagging on the Chiefs, not in the fact that they are not worthy or good, but just saying that they're getting a little too overhyped and they're overshadowing. He's not bagging on Mahomes, but he's saying he feels sorry for him because he's being compared to Jordan already and he hasn't won anything yet, like blah, blah, blah. I understand his point, but take it down a notch, Skip. So his one tweet a week or so ago was, "The Chiefs are getting on my nerves. They have become awfully full of themselves. It's a dangerous game they're playing right now, going into a Super Bowl against an extremely physical 49ers defense." More at Undisputed, now on Fox Sports 1. So, and all these people are responding like, with Mahomes, like supporting Mahomes, and then it comes back, the Honey Badger responded on there. Tyrann Mathieu just says, "Shut up, bitch."
Whoa! I saw that today. I saw that this morning.
What a response!
I saw that this morning. I laughed out loud.
And yes, it's real.
Yep, it's
People
real.
were wondering if it was real. Yes, it is real.
Good for him.
Dude, the Honey Badger don't give two craps.
No.
All right,
Honey Badger don't care, Jay. Then I went back and I started watching all my favorite Tyrann Mathieu highlights back from LSU, back from the Arizona Cardinals in 2015. His highlights are just unbelievable. He's so exciting to watch. Strong safety for the Chiefs.
All right, so that is the one. If you listen to anything that Michael Lombardi says, and he's a former GM. Dan Escontrias join us in the studio. He'll sit down. We'll get in a second. Michael Lombardi talks about it. He says, keep your eyes on the Honey Badger.
Yeah.
He's the one that's going to call out all the signals for the defense for the Chiefs.
Bomber, your Honey Badger bolsters your defense.
Yes.
He is insanely good. He's incredibly exciting to watch.
Yes.
If you like defense at all, this is the guy you're watching.
If you like the D, you're watching him.
That's right, Leah. Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right.
That's what I'm here for.
What did I tell you?
So number 32 for the Chiefs. Keep your eyes on him. So Dano,
what did I tell you?
Got to watch out for that Honey Badger, buddy.
Bringing in a guest, 49er fan, the John Oates to my Daryl Hall, Dan Escontrias. He's coming in hot. He's going to tell us.
Daryl Hall would have showed up at karaoke.
Why the 49ers?
I got robbed of it.
That chair will go up and down on
Here,
you.
why don't you switch it?
You sure it's not? It's okay.
Dan was up there singing "Rich Girl" by himself.
We've got singing "Private Eye" instead of "Private Eye."
I'm watching you.
All right, Dan, thank you so much for coming in, moving your time around to talk to us. All right, the big game is on Sunday. The Super Bowl.
What game? There it is.
You're only the third team to go from four victories or less the year before to the Super Bowl, and it's a weird mixture of I don't know, not so much luck, but I mean 49ers, they did pass on Patrick Mahomes.
Yep, that's right.
And we can go and do that over.
And Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah, but that's true too. And it's not a matter of like they didn't think they didn't like him or anything like that. It really wasn't part of the plan. Like the real plan really was to get Kirk Cousins, and they didn't get that. And then they lucked in and they got Jimmy Garoppolo. So they got handsome Jimmy now.
Yeah, he is handsome.
Yes, he is.
Yeah, he's better looking than Mahomes. That's for sure.
What?
Yeah. Oh yeah, go on there. Go ahead.
Bomber, have you seen handsome Jimmy? You will on Sunday.
All right.
A lot.
I have seen. I've seen. He's not. Mahomes is adorable. You just want to pinch his cheeks.
This line right now is Chiefs -1.5. So we're trying to figure out. We're getting everybody their input on it. The game. Obviously, I believe that you think the 49ers are going to win.
I do. Yeah.
Let's talk about how and why.
You got it. I think the 49ers are a little more battle tested than the Chiefs. I like their defense a lot better than the Chiefs. I think both offenses are comparable, very close. You see a lot more passing out of the Chiefs, but I think you see a better rushing game in San Francisco. I think Shanahan's got something special going on with the team this year. We had two years in a row tough breaks. Jimmy Garoppolo goes down. We luck out and get a number 2 pick of the draft in Bosa. But they've embraced the past all season long. Jerry Rice, Steve Young, they've had a lot of the old 49ers come in, and just feels like a special season this year. Just been
special.
It's been just different. I feel like there's an intangible there with the Niners this year.
The defense that you mentioned, the front four, is what everyone's going to be talking about.
Yeah.
You get the front four, get past the front four, you can do some things. Defensive coordinator, I'm going to say his name wrong.
Robert Saleh.
All right, he's going to, what they're saying, they're trying to embrace kind of what the Chargers did against the Chiefs, and they held them around about 30 points, I think 31 and I think 27, and that is to, 49ers are going to penetrate with the front four and run a zone defense from there, and again force Mahomes to do something more than what he has. Create more, and then so. That's the whole story is going to be the front four. I mean, that's a very fast front four. The defense is very good.
Yeah,
they're the best left.
They're very quick.
They're the best left in the playoffs. I mean, if you look at and when you and I talk about it, and we talk about it too, and we do it in jest and roll our eyes because when you say like they're the best defense in league, and then you say no, they're not. They're number 2, and like, what do you mean by what? DVOA? What's DVOA? Oh man, I don't want to, But that's the thing. That's the nerd analytics. Be like, well, actually, by the DVOA, it breaks down to this. So, But that's because the Patriots, for their first 11 games, were playing at a
Miami twice.
Yeah. So, it just I have this a higher scoring game.
What's the over at?
The over-under is at
50.
53.5.
Yeah, I would too. Yeah.
You think it's going to be higher than that?
I do.
Yeah.
It's even though I'm talking defense, I do think it's going to be a high-scoring game.
We talked yesterday, and I think we're too much on because we have 2 weeks and we have recency bias, and we have the Chiefs coming back from being down and scoring all these points, and Handsome Jimmy only attempting 8 passes, but you're leaving out the fact that he has thrown for. He was in a shootout with the
Saints. Yeah,
he's thrown for 275, 300, I think even like 400 at one point. So they can score. They haven't only once they've gone less than 20 points. They've scored at least 20 points in every one of their game, and I think that was only twice. Other than that, it was 20, but all the rest of them were around the 27, 28 or more. So they can score.
Yeah,
and the Chiefs are going to let you score too. That's the thing.
I think the Niners score multiple ways with the run game, with the pass game. I think the Chiefs seem a little one-sided with the pass. I like this to see this. I like to see the score go up, and I think if we're going to say how do I think the Niners win, I like to be in the position knowing the Chiefs have to throw the ball with that front four.
Okay.
Coming at you.
Well, I mean that's the thing also because I just don't know if there's going to be a lot of sitting on the ball, controlling the ball, running because even if you do that, you get your team, you try to wear down that defense. It still wears down your offensive line and everybody else because the Chiefs are going to turn around and they're going to try to score as fast as possible, no matter what. I think the other thing to find out is where's 4-down territory for each team. I'd like to see if they're going to go for it on 4th down. I think there's going to be more times that people are going on 4th down, and we talked about this in the prop bets, Bomber, where I said that I like the under on the field goals attempted or field goals made because I think those 4 extra points are going to mean something in this game. I really do. Let's do the cliches. We got to leave it all out there.
All right.
There's only one game.
What do you got, Dan? We do this all the time. What do you got for some cliches?
It's 4th down, and he's not going for the field goal. They're going to go for it on 4th. You got to leave it all out there.
What do you got? What do you got, Dan?
I don't have a cliche to go with.
You don't?
No, situation based.
Right.
I will.
If
the 49ers are the ones going for it on 4th down right away, I'm like, what are we doing? Come on.
Little dogs are in the championship. What cliche you throwing out there?
They didn't expect to be here. We got to give it all.
This is what we've been practicing for.
And don't forget, defense wins games.
Defense wins games. No, offense wins games. Defense wins championships.
That's right. That's what they'll do right there. If they don't get, you know what? The 49ers don't care if they don't get it. They have faith in their defense. And they know defense wins championship.
Jay? This game's going to be one of the trenches.
That's right. This is a classic trench warfare game right here.
Chess game between Shanahan and
There you go.
This is a chess game.
Okay. Have you guys seen the similarities between the 94 49ers and then the 2019 49ers?
What's the similarities? Because in
season records were 13-3.
Okay.
Both. Division standings, number 1 in the West for both. Conference standings were number 1 in the NFC. Offensive coordinator in 2019.
This is good.
Was Mike Shanahan. Head coach now is Kyle Shanahan.
Lincoln's secretary's name was Johnson.
Stop, hold on. Super Bowl. They won the Super Bowl, and they had the same stats basically as they do this year, so we'll see.
Lee Harvey Oswald shot it from a warehouse into a theater.
Yeah. These are pretty substantial.
This is the Steve Young team.
Is Bomber flipping?
Coming out, absolutely not.
Is Bomber flipping from the Chiefs?
Absolutely not. I'm just pointing out the similarities in the teams. I will never flip. My loyalty stands.
I don't. I was thinking about this today, and I'm like, all right, am I flipping? Am I going to move from my 35-34 Chiefs victory? And I still am not. I haven't found anything to get me to move. 35-34, overtime. Unfortunately, Dan, it happens because San Francisco goes for 2 and don't get it.
I don't see that with the defense, knowing that they can, I think the advantage is 49ers on the defensive side of the ball.
But you still are fine with 53.5. 27, 28,
I'm
26,
with,
it gets you 54,
Right. I think we're going to be above it. I'm not saying the 49ers, shut out the Chiefs. No, I'm not saying that. No, I think the 49ers defense is going to play good enough, even come up with the play in the fourth quarter to stop it.
Oh, okay. Like
That's
play,
my
like,
edge, right?
Like front four flush them out of pocket. They have a radar on the edge. He strips the ball.
Yep.
49ers take over.
Or it's
and
the
that's
sack. They're going for it on fourth down because they're the ones down, 34-28.
Yeah.
Or it's 42 to 28 38
All right.
at this time.
You're a laid back guy.
I'll say.
I am.
Yeah. You don't lose your cool very often.
Nope.
Is there any point in this game that you could see that what would make you lose your cool watching the Super Bowl?
Jimmy G throws a second interception.
A second interception?
Yeah.
Is that going to...
I think we're fine with one interception. I do. Jimmy G. Yep.
Is that going to be Super Bowl party at your house? That's it. I'm going to the basement. Nobody come with me. Everybody
it
out.
will be. Yes, that's definitely, there's a halo involved in that one.
That's it. You guys have fun. I appreciate you. I just want you to know. But for the rest of the game, I'm going in the basement. Leave me alone.
Talk to someone else. Yeah. Leave the comments alone. It's just me and Shanahan right now.
That's right.
They're trying to get the team through.
Darn it all, Jimmy. I need to focus.
Jimmy's second interception. That's when I'm going to lose my cool and start worrying for sure.
How did you become a 49er fan?
I had been 8 or 9 years old, so that puts it about 88. I got a signed autograph from Roger Craig. Mm-hmm. I was really following Major League Baseball at the time, huge Cubs fan. Kind of watched football. Bears were fun to watch that one year. Just that was it. Kind of got into the Rams a little bit, but it was the Roger Craig autograph that really pushed it over for me. My stepdad went to school with Curtis Craig.
Yep.
And Roger's the younger brother, and it's sometime around there that they're out and they see Roger and like to get an autograph from me, and they bring it home. Roger's autograph, "Dear Dan, be the best, Roger Craig." You know, and I'm like, heck yeah, this is awesome.
I'm gonna be the best.
Yeah, but at the same time, like, who's this?
Yeah.
And so at that time, Roger Craig's a 49er, and they make a nice Super Bowl run in '89 and '90, and he's a Davenport Central grad, and I was just awestruck at the idea of, wow, this is a guy from the Quad Cities on a big stage. Wow, he's winning Super Bowls. He's the first 1,000-yard rusher receiver in NFL history, and for me I was just hooked. And by the way, Montana Rice in the Super Bowls is pretty fun to watch too. So
I remember that, Jerry. Yeah, I remember that.
And
what year was that?
They went back to back 89 and 90, and then the 94 was the one that you just brought up. Steve Young that year. I was actually more of a Steve Young fan than I was a Montana fan.
Ooh. All right, Dan, you're getting some requests out here on the Harrington's Pub Facebook comment thread. Patrick Lynch says, this is very teacher-esque, be specific on why Niners will win, not just because it's magical. If defense, why defense over KC offense? In other words, show your work.
Show my work.
I added the show your work.
Niners D is number 2 in the game. I believe number 1 over the against passing yards. KC's offense is pretty explosive, but I go back to New Orleans, and New Orleans put up the yards, put up the points, but it was San Francisco. Actually, it was San Francisco's offense that came through that game. We have, I go to battle tested with the defense. I'm gonna try and prove that the defense is battle tested and say, we played Seattle twice. That's Russell Wilson, who's, just a side conversation is, who do you have? Do you want to start Russell Wilson or Patrick Mahomes in the Super Bowl here for your team? If the same teams are just aligned, the same. We faced Russell Wilson twice. We faced Lamar Jackson once. I know we lose that game, but there's experience that we take away from it. We face Aaron Rodgers twice. We face Drew Brees. I think the defense here is going to come through on the offense. Over the regular season, they proved that they're the number 1 passing defense in the NFL. That's 16 games against half of them, NFC, where I felt that the NFC teams were better than the AFC teams this year. Kansas City, playing most of their games in the AFC. San Francisco, most of the NFC.
So this is everything that you told me on Saturday night, but Saturday night was more screaming in my ear.
I saw you Saturday night.
Excitement. Yes, you did.
Oh,
You're
Lordy.
excited. You're pumped, man. I don't blame you. You should be.
I am. Yeah.
I want to hear more about Saturday night, guys.
Had to be there, Bomber.
Yep.
Dang it.
What happens at Harrington?
That's right.
I did mention to you
Everybody had their shirts on for a
that
change.
2 out of the 3 losses come from for the 49ers come from a mobile quarterback.
2 of the 3 losses
Yes.
come from mobile quarterback.
Yes, but it's you wouldn't. I think it's more of a. You think Patrick Mahomes is a mobile quarterback, but really he's more of a playmaker. He's more of that gunslinger.
He's definitely a playmaker,
Yeah, he's
and
more
he
of that
works really
gunslinger.
well under pressure.
Like Lamar Jackson's going to run, and Russell can make that scramble that the Russell Love muscle can make, and you're like, that looks like him more.
Yes.
Patrick Mahomes running for like a 19-yard touchdown scramble is a rarity. It happened in the AFC Championship, but like it's a rarity. So
Do you remember
that's
why
why
we? Do you remember why we said that? We were talking about the over/under on yards for Mahomes and everything else. The only reason I would say under on whatever his rushing yards are is because he will run, scramble, slip out of tackles and sacks. Then just when you think that he's going to run the ball and get some rushing yards, he'll pass it right before he gets the line of scrimmage. He'll find that open man.
That's the playmaker.
Pass. So that's the playmaker.
Yeah.
Stuff.
That's why I wouldn't put the over on his rushing yards. Lamar is just going to take off. Hence why Mahomes has got a little more experience under his belt right now. He finds that open man. He trusts in his receivers. He trusts in his tight ends to get open. Lamar was a little more trusting in his own ability. It wasn't cockiness or anything else. Like, I don't think he made the wrong decisions, but he knew what he was doing. I mean, he made the plays, but in the end, who's still playing right now? Mahomes is the one playing.
That's
Yeah.
right.
I mean, there's just going to be a lot of the focus is going to be more on Mahomes when it comes to the 2 quarterbacks, right? That's going to be because they're just going to because he is the playmaker. You're going to talk more about the front 4 and the defense, and then I actually think you're going to talk more when it comes to offense about Shanahan than you are going to talk about Jimmy G under center. That's what the guy. I mean, that's what Buck and Aikman are going to do more. I mean, when you're listening to it,
it's going to be spread around the board. Yeah, offensively.
We got to take a quick break just to get some ads in, and then we'll be right back with Dan Escontrias, 49er fan. We're going to talk a little bit more about the Super Bowl, and then and look at some more prop bets and see what Dan thinks about those. All right.
Done Right TV and Security Solutions is proud to be your Dish premier local retailer. Use Dish's voice remote to search live TV, over 80,000 on-demand titles, and Netflix at the same time. Done Right has all the products you need to turn your home into a smart home. Not only do they have state-of-the-art products, they even have their own installation experts for TV mounts, wireless networks, home theaters, security systems, and more. Call 866-84-RIGHT today to get the package that's right for you. Netflix streaming membership required. Voice remote requires internet-connected hopper. Restrictions apply. Once again, that's Done Right TV and Security Solutions, 866-84-RIGHT.
This is Adam Rosso from Hawkeye Headquarters, and you are listening to Don't Hassle Us, We're Local.
ESPN 1170 AM.
Score a touchdown on your next new or used purchase at Sexton Ford. With a huge selection of new Ford cars and trucks, you'll feel like you've entered the big game each and every time. You'll be treated like a pro player from sales to service, auto body to parts. Sexton also has a strong bench of mildly used vehicles too. Why wait? The game's on at Sexton Ford in Moline.
Oh yeah! Sexton Ford is the talk of the town.
See, very intrigued by the Dan Le Batard Show on ESPN Radio.
Stugatz feels very little in the way of shame. It's only occasionally where he will feel shame. One of those places is every time we play that sound of him clearly having had too much to drink at Shaquille O'Neal's birthday party while talking to Ludacris.
How much does the watch cost, Ludacris? How much?
I don't know. I got it for free. That's a good question.
That's an indelicate question, right? You don't ask a woman what she weighs, and you don't ask a hip-hop star what his jewelry's worth, do you?
That's why he let me ask the question.
You really don't.
God, I hate the end of that.
The end of it, like the beginning of it, is any good?
How much does the watch cost, Ludacris?
Oh, God.
The end of it is what makes you feel shame?
This is the last thing I heard. It's just so gross. How much?
But
The Dan Lebitard Show, 9 till noon on the Quad City Sports Leader, ESPN 1170 AM.
Ladies and gentlemen, make some noise for your Precision Air team's starting lineup. First, let's welcome the masters of comfort and efficiency, your residential and commercial heating and AC service team. Next up, put your hands together for the All-Star Furnace and AC installation team, the trained dealer comfort specialist. And finally, your Quad Cities geothermal specialist. Ladies and gentlemen, this is your Precision Air starting lineup. Financing available online at PrecisionAirQC.com. Precision Air. We'll be right there.
Back by popular demand, Gobo Productions presents One Night of Queen. Since forming in 2002, Gary Mullen and the Works have performed to sellout audiences all over the world. And now they're back in the USA for a brand new tour. One Night of Queen is a spectacular live concert recreating the look, sound, and showmanship of arguably the greatest rock band of all time. You'll hear classic Queen numbers including We Will Rock You, Fat Bottom Girls, Another One Bites the Dust, Bohemian Rhapsody, and We Are the Champions. One Night of Queen, performed by Gary Mullen and the Works. This show will rock you.
Coming to the TaxSlayer Center March 18th. Tickets are on sale now at the TaxSlayer Center box office and Ticketmaster.com. Presented by Town Square Media.
Join the conversation. Follow ESPN 1170 AM on Facebook and Twitter. From the Quad City Sports Leader, ESPN 1170 AM.
You're listening to Don't Hassle Us. We're local here on ESPN 1170 AM. We're live in the Hassle Castle, brought to you by Done Right TV and Security. I want to thank you all for listening and leaving comments, watching on the Facebook Live, leaving comments on the Harrington's Pub Facebook comment thread. You can listen to us on your smartphone. Just go ahead and download ESPN 1170 AM, and you can listen to us on your computer as well. ESPN1170am.com. Click in the upper right, listen now. We are in studio. We've got Bomber here. Serge stepped out, but he'll be back. We've got Dan Escontrias in here talking about the Super Bowl. Dan's a 49er fan. We had to even it out. We've had Kyle in. He's a Kansas City fan. We've got Bomber. No matter what we do when we talk prop bets, it's always over or Kansas City with Bomber. I have to stop her and remind her that she's got to think these things through. Let's look at some prop bets. All right? Dan? If you're gonna do it, what opening coin toss? What are you going, heads or tails?
It's tails.
Okay, I agree.
Yeah, it's tails.
Did you watch La Bamba too?
I did, and what did it? I normally take heads. Yeah, I actually take heads. That's me. I will take heads, but everybody else in the world takes tails. So yeah, it's got to be tails. That's that would be where my money goes.
Bus ears breaks down, Jay. I hope that old bus ears breaks down.
Yeah.
I hope your plane crashes.
Yeah.
Oh,
man.
Yikes.
That does not. Yeah. All right. Well, either team scored 3 straight times. That excludes extra points or a 2-point conversion, though.
Yeah.
It does include safeties, though.
Either team scoring 3 straight times.
Yes.
I'd like to believe San Fran can do it.
It actually happens quite a bit. It's yes is minus 185, meaning you have to put up 185 to 100. No is plus 165.
Gotcha. Yeah. So when San Fran's up 28-3, I can see Kansas City scoring 3 straight times, right?
There you go. Team to make the first field goal. Now you've got to do your research here and figure out who defers to the second half more often if they win it, who elects to take it.
I think recently the Niners have deferred.
Casey will take it.
And Casey will take the ball.
Mm-hmm.
I believe that. So first field goal you think would be Kansas City then, first possession?
You guys are dead on with what Vegas is thinking. Chiefs are minus 120 to kick the first field goal, meaning they'll probably get the ball first at minus 120. 49ers are even.
But I like Gold over Butker though. I don't know how accurate Butker is or what his leg. I guess besides possession, I would look at the actual field goal kicker.
Well, we'll get to Gold in a second.
Okay.
Total passing yards by Jimmy G. Over under 237.5. Over under. Total passing yards.
Oh, boy. 200? Jeez. I would have said
237.5.
237.5
Yeah.
yards is the over. I would take under 237. I like 215 to 230 here for Jimmy G.
It's minus 110 for both sides, over under, so Vegas doesn't have either one. Total number of completions for Jimmy G, the over under set is 18.5.
Under.
Under
there. Yep.
Total points by Gould, over under 8.5.
Over.
Over. Okay. The actual Vegas has under at the favorite at minus 140. Over is plus 120. Let's see some other ones.
That'd be more touchdowns by the Niners, in my opinion. There.
Yeah. Total receiving yards by George Kittle, which, by the way, there's a fun bet out there, a prop bet that you can do. Actually, Rhythm City has one too, but you can do a bet: total points scored by Iowa versus Illinois on Sunday versus receiving yards George Kittle. Who's going to score more?
Who's going to score more? Iowa and Illinois combined.
Iowa, the
Iowa
team of
only.
Iowa, yeah, Iowa only, because it's the Iowa connection. It's got nothing to do with bias.
I said Iowa.
You never know what kind of game you get out of Iowa, Illinois. It could be a slop fest, like a 60 to 59
Let's see,
game.
I'm telling you right now, the Vegas odds for George Kittle receiving yards is set at 70.5. So
70.5 receiving
70,
yards.
yes, that's the over/under for George Kittle's receiving yards.
I would say Iowa puts more than 70 up on Illinois
Well,
Saturday. Yeah,
if they shoot like they did the other night, which I don't think they will. But let's see. You can do this jersey number of player to score first touchdown. This I think is this one I think is actually kind of this is actually has value here. The jersey number of player to score first touchdown, over under set at 26.5. It's minus 130 for under 26.5. And I think right now, like 11 through 20 is the number one. You can actually bet this too. You can bet like by series of numbers. The most bet one right now is between 11 and 20 for the player to score first touchdown.
So that's just the jersey of whoever scores the touchdown.
Doesn't matter, yeah.
So that just
Well,
happens
that's
to be
first
where the
touchdown.
most offensive players are probably rostered at.
Yep,
correct.
But really, in all likelihood, I would. What's the running back for Kansas City?
Who comes up with this stuff?
Damian Williams.
Is he 26? Something like that.
That you got me there.
Is there? Well, I think I would pick in the range of a running back.
Here's another one.
About wide receiver.
That I think is kind of the shortest touchdown yardage. And I think you on Monday, and Serge, I don't know if you did too on Tuesday. Shortest touchdown yardage, over under 1.5. So it's at the 1 yard line or 2 yard line.
Mm-hmm.
It's minus 180, 1.5. Meaning it's very heavily favored. That ball's going to be on the 1, and then they hammer, quarterback sneak or something. I don't know why that's so heavily favored. Like,
he was right. He's number 26.
26.
Okay. I don't know why that's so heavily favored. But
Yeah,
do you like that
That's
at all?
awfully close.
Yeah,
to
1.5.
the goal line. No, I would take the over on that. If a yard and a half would be the shortest touchdown route.
Yeah, it's between either be at the 1 yard line or the 2 yard line. That's the difference there.
Jeez. I guess I'd take the over there. I think a team can score from 2 or 3 yards out.
So Sunday, the big game. I know that I told these type of things, these prop bets. I know we talked to Miss Jess about putting some things together for a little get together at your house, whatever. Get some prop bet things going. What's the go to for at a Super Bowl party? What are you guys planning?
What do you mean?
Hey, people bring stuff, or you?
Oh.
I mean, I didn't look at the Facebook event thing yet. I
It's-
just said
it's
I'm
been
going.
a-
That's just
it's-
me.
you're
I'm in. Yeah,
right,
I'm,
right.
I'm there. I don't need a description.
So my recent Super Bowl experience has not included my team. It's been a while,
it's been a
right?
while.
2013 was the last time we were there. What's the go-to? It's the drinks and the food.
Kansas City Chief fan is just right now.
And the
2013, I go,
50 years
yeah.
for you.
Yeah.
It's
only
the
been
drinks,
50
it's
years.
the food, it's that Super Bowl commercials.
Yeah.
I do enjoy those. It's really more the reason why I stay home or go to a home party anyway to see kind
The
of
commercials?
The commercials.
Really?
Yeah.
They started leaking those online. Surge.
Yep.
Those Super Bowl
You
commercials.
stay offline. It's like when Star Wars comes up, stay offline.
Yeah, you
just-
see them
you don't
post
want
it,
the
just don't
spoilers.
open
Yeah,
them.
Just don't look.
I don't want to know.
I didn't look. I saw like a description of one, and I'm like, I can't. I know that.
I don't care. I'll check them out if they leak.
And to be
why?
honest with you, well, I don't.
Who cares?
I'm telling you right now, I didn't watch them, and I really don't watch them during the Super Bowl either. So it's not that big of a deal to me.
The only
I
thing
can't
is
tell
that
you the
if
last
you
Super
do, if you want to watch them beforehand, if you do watch the leaked ones, which I might not. I don't really care if it happens. It happens. But if you do watch them, don't be that guy or that girl next to your friend wherever you're watching the game going, oh, I've seen this one. This is the one where the dog jumps through the fence.
Puppy monkey baby.
Yeah, puppy monkey baby. And then
I thought you were going with the shh. I want to hear the Super Bowl commercial.
Don't do that either.
Yeah,
I mean,
right,
if you're
exactly.
listening, you're listening. Like, be a little respectful, but I don't really care. I guess if I want to hear it, somebody's screaming next to me, I'm not gonna be mad at the guy drunk at a bar screaming during the Super Bowl. That's gonna happen. Deal with it.
Yeah.
So, but I mean, hopefully we can. I kind of want to hear this. If you miss it, want to know what you could do? You can Google it. You can go back and watch it. It's not like this is not 1990,
Which I think I did last year. I got kind of.
I missed it.
Yeah, I missed that one.
What am I gonna do? I'm never gonna see this commercial again.
Yeah, exactly.
No, go outside, Google it, and rewatch it. You're
YouTube
fine.
right after the Super Bowl. I guess that
It
one was
becomes
pretty
on
funny.
regular commercials after a while. They're on TV regularly.
So I guess I haven't seen a halftime show in a really long time. Maybe we switch over to the horse racing game at halftime. I think that. How long is halftime? Is that about 45 minutes or so anymore?
Isn't it 20? Is it?
Well, it's extended. It's Jennifer Lopez and Shakira, right?
Ugh, I can't wait to not watch
Wardrobe malfunction. Wardrobe malfunction. Wardrobe malfunction.
So
Nipplegate 2020.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how fast it is. Yeah,
It's long.
It'll be
It's
longer,
long.
yeah.
It's long. I think in Super Bowls past, you could switch over and watch a couple shows on Comedy Central or whatever that promote, hey, come watch this while your Super Bowl halftime's going on.
All right, I was looking at something, and I sent the link to myself, and I'm looking at it now, and it's at the
20 to 30 minutes. Sorry to interrupt you. 20 to 30 minutes is your average time for Super Bowl halftime show.
Score.com.
I'd take the over on
What
that.
do I win?
Score.com did a tale of the tapes between the two, all right? So,
Whoa. Okay,
we're
here
gonna
we go.
look-
First half should last roughly 90 minutes, assume a bit longer due to lengthy entertaining Super Bowl commercials. Kickoff slotted for 5:30.
What is this? Who's reporting this about the time frame?
CBS Sports, buddy.
All right, so the game is
I
supposed
hope
to
that's a
kick.
credible enough source for everybody out there listening.
Did Jim
It's
Nance
not
have something
it's
to
not
do with
TMZ.
that?
Like where your head's at.
If Jim
Oh,
Nance was
man.
involved, it's true.
All right, so the kickoff is what, 5:30?
5:30.
Is it actual kickoff or is it? Okay.
Well, it's gonna be 5:35.
Oh, okay. I
but
just didn't know if like pregame if we're
no,
just...
it used to
5:30 is
say
the coverage, right?
No. 5:30 kickoff.
Oh wow.
Okay, 5:30 is kickoff.
That seems early.
Okay.
It is. It always is though. It used to say kickoff. The times you actually say like 5:37 p.m.
Yeah.
But now this is actually saying 5:30 everywhere.
All right, so
Or
90
6:30
minutes.
Eastern.
So halftime's at 7. And then we got 7:30, second half comes back in. And so that's going to be 2 hours. So 9:15, you think you're about done?
Yep, that's about what it was last
9,
year.
9:15, 9:30, whatever, right around there. Okay.
And I just found out I'm actually bartending during the game.
Oh.
I was going to be down there anyway, manning the food and getting everything going down at 1117. Like I said, I was going to be at a house for the Super Bowl. It's going to be a little blue one down in the East Village at 1117 Mount Street. It's also the address.
Yeah, there you go.
But I'll be behind the bar for pregame and for majority of the game.
I wonder if Uber prices are jacked up on Super Bowl
They
Sunday.
typically are. It's not quite the New Year's Eve, night before Thanksgiving
Right.
type thing, but they do go up a little
Little
bit.
inflation
but it's
there.
still worth it.
Oh, of course. Yeah. It's way better than a $20,000 ticket.
Yeah, just a little bit.
He's little.
Tail of the tape. Start from the beginning. Quarterbacks, who's got the advantage? Come on, we know it.
Mahomes.
Yeah. Running backs, who's got the advantage?
San Fran.
Yep. Receivers.
In a race
Kansas
or
City.
actual, football? San Fran.
You're saying San Fran.
I think Kansas City has a lot of speed, but I like San Francisco receivers. I like them a lot better. Kittle, Debo Samuel, Emmanuel Sanders. I like them a lot better than Hardman, Hill, and Sammy Watkins.
Kelsey. Hill, Watkins,
Mhm,
Robinson.
you got
Hardman.
Travis. Yeah, you forgot
Juszczyk.
about him.
That's really good. But both
Kendrick
of them-
Bourne.
both
All he
of them
does is
really
catch
good.
touchdowns, by the way. Kendrick Bourne.
When you say that, you those receivers, and then talk defense, and you're like, man, those receivers, all that. Both
They're
cores
fast.
are really good.
I
Yeah.
just said that they're fast. That's it. I didn't say that
The
they...
defense, San Fran defense is fast.
Yes,
Yeah.
they are. They are.
Yeah.
But the front four tackles and Kansas City receivers don't tackle.
Offensive line. It's got to be the 49ers,
I
right?
would think so because with the pass and the run game. But you know, I watched a couple Kansas City games and they give Mahomes some time. He kind of gets out of the pocket and I like San Fran's line.
I think it's San Fran. Obviously, the front seven of the 49ers, that gives them the
It's
advantage.
San Fran defense.
Yeah. Secondary.
San Fran.
Yeah. Special teams.
Ooh, boy, I guess Kansas City. I think one of them fast receivers is probably back there receiving punts.
Here's the final one: coaching. They're both really, really good at what they're doing.
Oh man, I mean, Reed's a good coach. Spent a lot of time with the Eagles. Had really good success there. Had a lot of success with Kansas City, but Shanahan,
All right. Okay.
I guess I got to go Reed based on just NFL experience.
There you go. All right. Final thoughts. What do you think the score is going to be?
I want the over 53.
Okay.
Like a 38-35 San Fran.
38-35 San Fran.
Yeah.
All right, I like that. That's about where I have it. I have 35-34. 38-35 San Fran. All right. Well, Dan, thank you so much for coming in, taking
for
time
having
out of
me.
your day.
Yeah.
I really do appreciate it. We're going to have to take a break. When we come back, we're going to have Adam Rosso in from Hawkeye Headquarters. We're going to talk about the game tonight. We're going to preview that. We're going to preview the Iowa wrestling meet that's going to be on Friday night. We've got some talk about Iowa Class 4A football, a shakeup that's in the works. But yeah, Adam Rosso from Channel 4 is going to come in, and we're going to recklessly speculate the Super Bowl like we do so well. All right.
And I'm going to get out of here after this break here, too. So this is me signing off. So, all right, guys, have a good rest of the day. Front Street Brewery, the oldest brew pub in the state of Iowa, is nestled beautifully along the bank of the mighty Mississippi. It served the fine community of Davenport, Iowa since 1992 with awesome beers such as the Davenport Gold. Satisfying American pale straw in color with the sweet corn-like aroma and a crisp, clean finish. Smooth, balanced, and refreshing. The Wise Guys there take on the instantly recognizable German wheat beer that's staked its claim on palates around the world. Brewed with noble German yeast, this refreshingly sweet and smooth brew features a citrusy tart aroma with significant notes of banana and clove. The Raging River, their English-inspired American India Pale Ale with incredible balance, featuring an earthy, slightly fruity hop aroma with moderately bready malt notes. A bronze-colored IPA that you don't need a beard to drink. This is your gateway IPA. Check out their Facebook page for food and drink specials. Also visit their webpage at www.frontstreetbrew.com. Calling all bars and restaurants. Call your local distributor. Get some Front Street on your tap lines or in your cooler now. Visit the restaurant at 208 East River Drive or the tap room at the Freight House Complex. Once again, that's www.frontstreetbrew.com.
This is Coach A.C. Earl. Don't hassle us. We're local.
ESPN 1170 AM.
And now an old classic commercial from Mark Brenny.
Every time my wife and I go to the mall, I end up wandering around while she shops with my credit card. Maybe I'll step into this arcade and check out their new virtual reality game. I think I'll try the virtual reality all-terrain vehicle ride.
Here's your goggles, sir.
Well, here we go. This new technology is kind of cool, but nothing beats hitting the rough terrain on a new or used ATV from Brenny's Motorcycle Clinic. With a real ATV, you can travel through the woods, over hills, in mud, or snow as you feel the wind in your hair. And right now, Brenny's has an incredible selection of ATVs to choose from, just in time for fall and winter riding. Well, that's enough virtual reality for me. I'm ready for the real thing.
Oh, there you are, Mark. Look at all this great stuff I bought.
Maybe they should have virtual reality shopping.
The ATV you're shopping for is at Brenny's Motorcycle Clinic, State Street, Bettendorf, across from the Alcoa Arcade. Almost.
See, very intrigued by the Dan Le Batard Show on ESPN Radio.
A tweeter writes in, well, that's nice. Le Batard just wrapped the segment praising the blatant cheating of Calipari at UMass in Memphis. It was magical, he said. Also, lots of love for Memphis now defending their current rule breaking and embracing it. Great work, guys. Set the bar high for everyone.
He's
That guy.
All right, listen here, Tucker Martin. The sport's being investigated with FBI wiretaps. There's testimony that the starter at Creighton cost you $100,000. Memphis got this Weissman kid cheap. They got him at 1/10 of the price. Penny got him discounted. Like, what do you think you're watching? Quit trying to make it pure. It's not pure. Pure things are not FBI wiretap.
The Dan Le Batard Show, 9 till noon on the Quad City Sports Leader, ESPN 1170 AM.
When storm damage hits, All Major Restorations is your insurance claim specialist. Loose or missing shingles, dented siding, or damaged windows. All Major Restorations of the Quad Cities works with your insurance company, making the process quick and easy. The insurance company has people fighting for them. Let All Major Restorations work for you. Residential, commercial, and industrial. There's a reason they have an A+ accredited Better Business Bureau rating. Storm damage estimates are always free. Visit amrestorations.com. All Major Restorations of the Quad Cities.
See, very intrigued by the Dan Le Batard Show on ESPN Radio.
Did you see what happened with Kyle Rudolph? Because it reminded me of you for all of the wrong reasons. Kyle Rudolph went to Twitter and pointed out that a media member had asked him for his gloves that he cheated to win the game against the Saints with. And he said, sure, for charity, of course. I'll even sign them for you since it's for charity. And then he gave it to the media member, then saw it being sold on eBay for $375 plus $6 of shipping, and just pointed out that that was wrong. And not only is it wrong, it's fireable.
Listen, I have since apologized. I mean,
you apologize? You've been leaving messages on Kyle Rudolph's machine?
Yes, Rudy.
Charity's the name of my wife.
The Dan Le Batard Show, 9 till noon on the Quad City Sports Leader, ESPN 1170 AM.
The Circle Tap in Davenport is your place to catch the big game on February 2nd. Watch the championship game on one of their 16 flat-screen TVs or relax on the heated patio. Enjoy $2 domestic cans, $7 big-ass Bloody Marys, and cash giveaways every quarter. Plus, one lucky winner will walk away with $100 at the end of the game. Soak up your booze with $6 pulled pork sandwiches and fries, or grab a rack of Circle Tap's world-famous ribs. Enjoy great food, great drinks, and great friends during the big game at the Circle Tap, West Locust Street, Davenport.
From the Sheedy Family Chiropractic Studios, this is the Quad City Sports Leader, ESPN 1170 AM, KBOB, Davenport.
Welcome back to Don't Hassle Us. We're local here on ESPN 1170 AM. We're live in the Hassle Castle, brought to you by Dunright TV and Security. I want to thank Dan Escontrias for coming in and joining us, talking to us about the Super Bowl and his 49ers. Thanks, Serge. Serge had to take off. But we are joined, Bob and I are joined by Adam Rosser from Hawkeye Headquarters and WHBF Channel 4. We're going to talk about the Iowa game the other night, the preview of the Iowa game tonight, and we got Iowa wrestling to recklessly speculate. Don't look at my notes, Adam. And then we've got some other talk to talk about Class 4A football in Iowa. This kind of crazy shakeup, which doesn't make much sense to me, but I want to hear your thoughts on it as well. Well, how you doing, Adam? Thank you for coming in.
Busy, big week.
Good.
Sunday to Sunday there. I mean, we had women's basketball, the Gustafson jersey retirement, Iowa, Wisconsin, Brands presser Tuesday, Iowa, Maryland tonight, Iowa, Penn State tomorrow. And then Sunday we bookend it with Illinois, Iowa, which is, it could be, depending on what Michigan State does, it could be for the Big Ten lead. If Iowa wins tonight, Michigan State loses on Saturday. I don't think they have a challenging game, but that could be to tie the Big Ten lead, because Illinois is obviously sitting up there with 7-2 right now. They play Minnesota tonight. So, yeah, huge week. Probably the biggest week of the winter for the Hawkeyes, the entire athletic department. Just some fun stuff, some big matchups, and, obviously the fun one tomorrow that we'll get to. But basketball, man, I mean, you were there Monday. I just keep tweeting this team, man. It was 57-45. Sitting by shooting the game with Randazzo, and we both looked at each other and said, I don't know if they have enough possessions to get the ball back, because Wisconsin's running the time down under 10 every time, the shot clock. It basically you have to get one and done. You have to get the rebound on the missed shot, and you have to score pretty much every possession. And they did that. They got the crowd back into it. They had the big turnover when Davison threw the ball away.
Yep.
And things just kind of snowballed, and they got some confidence. And, I mean, they win by 6. And it's just, since I've been following Big Ten basketball, especially with Fran here, I feel like this team's the most resilient team I've seen that they've had. It's just it's not over until clock hits zero. They don't get down on themselves. They're really pretty good at wiping it away, whether it's a possession, whether it's a bad stretch, and just regrouping and saying, all right, let's get it back. We got 7 minutes to go. Let's get it back. And, I mean, they obviously have special players, but that type of mentality, kind of the will to win that they've shown, I think that's what's been most impressive.
I mentioned this yesterday, and it was about Fran, and I think there's a difference. I don't know how to say it. I wouldn't say he's hard on the kids in the past, okay? But there's certain things that you see he gets upset, and there's a coaching moment. There was that foul that Pemsl had, and he went down the line and told them, "You can't. That's a dumb foul. We can't do this." All right. Didn't take Pemsl out though, so that's good. It's just one of those things. He has like this weird relationship with them. It just feels like he really trusts the kids on the team. He's happy with what he puts out there on the floor over and over again, and I think vice versa. They trust in him, and I mean it was an impressive comeback win. I never sat there much. You know more than I do, and so does Randazzo. So when you say like, "Hey, I don't know if we have the possessions in him to do it," I just looked at it, and when the open layup and the foul to Toussaint, that's when I texted my buddies and I go, that changed the game. That's when they knocked it down to an 8-point lead after that point for Wisconsin. That's where I was at on that. But it was the crowd was great, unbelievable, and then then you're going to see on Friday night, and you're going to go, God, I wish it was like this for the basketball games. Because Friday night's going to be nuts.
I think you kind of hit it on the head, and Fran's talked about it a little bit. That typically the best teams are the teams you don't really have to coach. They coach themselves, right? Mm-hmm. Fran says it a lot with the good Iowa teams. I mean, when you got enough leadership where you don't have to get on the guys, they get on each other. Almost like coaches say the practice runs themselves. Like I think they're a group like that they kind of run themselves. All the guys like each other. There's no drama on the team, and I think they complement each other well, and they know they maybe have a different level that they can take it to in certain instances, even when they're struggling, even when they're shooting poorly. I think that was the craziest thing. They were shooting awfully. And then somehow they start fighting back, and everybody gets, like you said, a couple nice drives, the big and one, a couple and ones from Toussaint. Everybody gets more confidence. They turn up the defense. I think that's a good observation, and I think for Fran to have to coach teams, I think that's maybe we've seen it a couple years ago when they struggled. He was blowing up early in games. He had when they're not doing what he wants them to do, scouting report wise, or when they're not doing things that they just talked about in the timeout. We haven't seen that from this group, and that's a testament to them, and I think a testament to Fran's coaching. We talked about. I mean, they haven't lost since I wrote that article, Bluter or McCaffrey. It's 5 straight for the men, and I think what are the women won 8 straight now? Like,
yeah,
we're getting to Cody status.
Yeah, he's my guy. I love it. I'm just not gonna ask him that question. Speaking of questions, I did sing your praises again on Tuesday. That was such a clutch question to do, and I tell you what. Don't ever stop being you, Rosso, because picking up that camera and when you said, I don't know what you guys are gonna do when I'm not here to get the quotes to get you to go viral. It was honestly probably my favorite moment of the night. Might be up there with might be even better than the halftime show. How much I love that halftime show.
I just don't want. I said it to you guys in there. I just sometimes, whether it's you're working on your story for print, whether we're watching the angle on TV, you don't want to miss the forest for the trees, and like. The impact that Kobe had on everybody, and Fran said it, that entire generation. Like, I was never a Kobe guy. Man, driving back from Minnesota on Sunday, though, I didn't know what to do.
Mm-hmm. Right.
It was weird.
Yeah,
and
everybody.
The only thing I can liken it to is when Kirby died.
Mm-hmm.
And he had the stroke, and I remember I think it was a Sunday night. I was studying for finals in college, and it was like, what? Wait.
Yeah.
And I just... it transcends.
That's the word we use too, yeah.
Everything. Mm-hmm. Like, had they won or lost that game, that was something that needed to be asked, especially because Fran talked about watching him at the Palestra in high school. Yeah, I remember that from a press conference a couple weeks ago.
The thing is that how you translated it from the couple weeks earlier.
And he talked about it. And he talked about that in terms of his memory of the Palestra, where he grew up and he played in college. So obviously that made an impact on him watching Kobe in high school. He mentioned how he recruited him and all that. Mm-hmm. And it's just... all the tributes, I lost it with Shaq's tribute. I don't know how you couldn't, man. The other night, my goodness, that was just all that stuff is just, I maybe it's because I'm a little younger than everybody. I don't know. It's just one of those that, it had to be asked. And
I think we all grew up with him too. Like we watched him
watched
grow
him
up,
grow up
so
and
we
you grew
see him
up,
as
yeah.
a peer, even if he is 5-6 years younger or older than some of us. But he's still our peer. We see him as our.
The thing is, and going back to the question that you asked and why I say it was clutch is that it's like it is. There's you can almost see the formula like, well, it seemed like you were pressing when they went to zone. It's like, do you know what I'm saying? And you just the guy said one more question and you hit it at the right time, and then all of a sudden everyone's ears perk up. And dude, you're a pro. You're great.
Well, and the weird thing is there's certain questions like the flagrant or the technical. Like neither coach, Greg Gard's not going to go into it if the refs gave him an explanation about Davison's flagrant or not. Fran's not going to light up Garza or light up the refs about the technical with 3 seconds left. It's those type of things that I almost feel like sometimes, and I'm sure I'm guilty of it too. I'm not saying I'm not. Sometimes we ask stuff just for our own self. Like, oh, I want to know what happened. I want to know why. Like, it doesn't pertain to anything. Like, I don't care why Garza got the technical. It doesn't matter. It didn't matter. And it didn't matter.
Poke.
But I think it's to see, I wonder what happened. Like, I wonder if they got told. I mean, we walked off the court. I told you, one of the Wisconsin players asked Ryan Kriener what happened, or vice versa. Kriener asked the Wisconsin player, hey, what happened on that play with Davison? The Wisconsin player says, I don't know. Said it was a flagrant. Said he tried to pull his leg out. I mean, they like the guys don't know. Like, I don't know. Like, it's...
Your guess
it
is as good
happens,
as
and
ours,
obviously that was a
right.
the kid got
his answer was it was a flagrant. That's all he said.
Yeah, and he got suspended for it, and he should have because it was a flagrant.
Yeah.
I actually know that kid a little bit from high school. He's from Maple Grove. He played quarterback up there in suburban Minneapolis. Man, his coach, everybody, he's a good kid. It's one of those things. You get on the court, he's just dirty, and those two things can be this. Like that's what I don't like because I got blown up in the mentions because Pat Forty from Yahoo retweeted a clip that I was tagged in because I was asking what happened because no one gave any. So that's gotten like, I don't know, million views. So I'm getting responses and I'm in them. Like, oh, he's got a Bible verse in his Twitter profile. Oh, he's got this. Oh, and then I'm getting all like him stepping on a kid at Minnesota, him doing the same thing to Joey Hauser at Marquette. I mean, I'm getting mentions and I'm like, okay, like.
Settle down.
First of all, like you can straddle that line of being dirty and being a try-hard or giving maximum effort. That's fine. He's gone on the side of dirty, and I think we can acknowledge that. That doesn't make him an awful kid.
No.
Between the lines is completely different than day-to-day, going to class, talking to like you know what I mean? And like, I mean, it's Twitter, so whatever. But I feel like I was like, man, I almost wanted to like snapshot and like go over these responses. I'm like, what?
You should have.
I mean, they're like, oh, he's a Christian, and like Jesus wasn't a perfect person either. And I was like, where are we going with this right now? Like the kid got a flagrant foul, a couple things. Like he's a pest on the court. He's dirty. Fine. He's from what I've been told and the people that know him, he's a good guy. So it's just it happens.
Yeah. So you put. Does anyone know why you got technical? No one in the arena knows, and you were dead on because I'm sitting up the press and people are asking me, and I'm like, I don't know. And then Twitter for his again, I'll give Twitter when it's beneficial its credit. And you wrote that, and someone said hooked him. That's what the first response was. He hooked him.
Hooked his leg.
I go, he hooked his leg. And I go, what? And he goes, that's a foul. And I go, you're asking the wrong guy. That's all I said. I go, you're asking the wrong guy. This is Twitter. Rosso, my guy down there. He's right there. He put it out there. Here's the response. Foul. All right. So the guy's like, okay. And then the video comes where he basically Bomber. He runs right by him and he takes a left hook to the guy's privates.
Oh,
to the Iowa play.
That's definitely exciting.
And so, like, getting around a screen, the thing that, like, I nuanced of it was, like, if you're trying to run around a screen and you're trailing a guy, basketball terms, and you try to, he's almost trying to get momentum, right? And you're kind of like, turning a corner, you're grabbing the fire pole and spinning, basically, right?
The perfect storm. It just connected.
But what he did was actually like, if you're taking an offensive lineman, a pulling guard, he ripped his leg out, like he was just going to take him out.
So it was purposeful.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
And that's where the difference is. Like, I think coming around a screen, normally he probably does that all the time. It was the fact that he did it and the fact that it was Connor, and Connor had been getting into it with some of the Wisconsin players and the refs. And you mentioned Fran not blowing up. Boy, at one point he lit up Connor when he checked out. I think he was complaining about a foul, and the ref came over and said something, and Fran goes, Connor, shut the F up, sit the F down. And
nice.
Connor shut the
You
F
love
up
him
and
so
sat the
much.
F down.
I do.
Like,
Well, that's his kid too.
You know.
so it's not like what's
He has
his,
a right to say it,
what's his
yeah.
wife going to be like? You can't talk to my
Yeah.
son that way. He's like, I'm his coach and his dad.
Yeah,
I can
right.
talk to him whenever I want. Like, I just love it. I mean, yes,
Yeah, Jay told me about what you said like 3 different times.
Yeah.
He was loving it.
Yeah.
The quote, the question was fantastic, and the best
It
part
was.
about it is you could see that Fran appreciated it by the way he talked about it more. It was more than
yeah, he went on. I mean, he went. The clip was too long for Twitter. It was more than 220. He
Most
kept going.
Yeah, most I've ever seen him reply to any question was. I will say this also. This is all my own opinion. The coach for Wisconsin, Coach Gard. I don't think if I was a Wisconsin Badger basketball fan, and I was in the same room that we were all in, I wouldn't want him to be my coach much longer for that team because losing by 12 and to go shrug it off and go, that's Big Ten basketball. That's what we expected out of Iowa. Maybe he's being cool. Maybe he's being political. Maybe he's just making. I don't want to go crazy, give a clip, but I like to see a little fire. Like we can't. Like the Rutgers coach, that guy was awesome.
Yeah, he was great, right?
He's
very impressed by him.
One of my
Peichel,
favorite. The quotes, everything else. He's just like he's been coaching a long time, and he criticized his team, and he said like, I don't know how to get these guys to want to play basketball. You guys saw it too. You guys just saw what we did. I looked at him. I'm texting my buddies like, I love this coach. Gard was just like, that's Big Ten basketball.
Yeah.
That's what we expect.
I think he was in a tough position because of the Kobe King situation. It felt like once he got asked that question, I know that was toward the end, but he didn't want to. He kind of wanted to talk about it, but then he didn't. He's like, "There's no timeline, but we'll see when he comes back, but we're not sure." And I don't know if he was just uncomfortable that whole time because he didn't. He was expecting them to ask, and obviously now he's left the team, so he's out of the pro. I mean, he's done. I don't know. It's interesting with coaches like that. I think you're seeing it in names right now. Like, I mean, Bo Ryan's a Hall of Fame coach, and they went to back-to-back Final Fours. I mean, they were one of the best programs in the Big Ten. And whether it's the guys he recruited, I know Gard was on the staff, but the way they developed players, there's been a drop-off at Wisconsin. Now, especially since Haps left, they don't have that stud that they've seemed to have for the last 6-7 years, whether it's been Hap, Kaminsky. I mean, going back all the way to like Jordan Taylor back in the day, the guard that they had. Like, they've had some great teams. And they've gone back to the swing offense. They're playing the style that they used to play before they had those talented players, which is grind it out, keep the game, in the 50s and 60s, and try to win with physicality and defense. They almost did. And I thought, being down on the court side, everybody's complaining about Garza getting hit, man. They were straight up a lot of times. And I tweeted that. I said, people are clamoring for fouls, but they're just being physical. And if they're letting them do it,
no, they're
going to keep doing it. And so, like, that was the way the game was. And
there
that's
was a lot of talk.
The players got to adjust, right? Like, at a certain point, if the game's being played that way, you got to adjust and expect it rather than complain about it. So, but I would agree with you. And I like I just said, I think that's happened in Ames too. I think there's a little bit of, we'll see those two programs. Those will be the two programs regionally here to watch in the next couple, probably next year. Because I don't know if Wisconsin will make the tournament this year. They might. Iowa State's not making the tournament. And quite frankly, after that first year that he's doing it with Fred's players, they've had, I mean, have they even made the second round of the tournament? I don't know. I know they made the Sweet 16 the first year, but so it's interesting. It's a tough act to follow, but that's why Hoiberg got an NBA job, and that's why Bo's going to be in the Hall of Fame. So
Bo is one of my favorite coaches in college basketball for a lot of reasons. All right, Friday night. Well, actually tonight. It's tonight's game. Let's preview this. I before in the first hour, I told you guys that where the Sharps are at on this. This is right now. Maryland is 5.5 point favorites, and the public sees the two highly ranked teams, and they have actually taken the points, and the public is backing Iowa. 2/3 of the bets, by the way, from the public are backing Iowa, but the line has remained frozen at 5.5. Sometimes even moved up to 6, which signals a fading the trendy dog by the Sharps. Big Ten home favorites are 56%, meaning they're covering 56% of the time against the spread, and they are 41-8 straight up. So money line 41-8. Maryland's ranked 15th, they're 16-4 on the year. Iowa's ranked 18th, they're 15-5 on the year. What are we looking at here, Rosso?
Just judging by what I saw in person when they played here against Iowa, I was not that impressed with them.
67-49 loss.
That without Frederick. CJ missed that game. So I don't know. I mean, I guess you'd have to lean Maryland because of the home success and because they are good. I'm not saying they're not, but I just wasn't very impressed with them in general. And when I went on that podcast with the former Michigan player before the Michigan game, he mentioned how Mark Turgeon, the Maryland coach, he thought he was the worst coach in the conference. He flat out said it. He goes, Maryland's got top 2 or 3 or 4 talent in the league. They got really good guards, really long players. But he's like, late game, late season in the tournament, he's like, that's kind of holding them back. He's like, they don't have the best coaching staff or the ability to make adjustments. So I think that the biggest thing, win or lose tonight, is you'd hope Iowa has a better offensive game than they did on Monday, because they can't go on the road and play like that. They'll lose to everybody, because they did lose to Nebraska, and they kind of played that way.
Mm-hmm.
You got to shoot better.
Yeah.
I would be surprised if Iowa won, but not shocked, I guess. I would lean Maryland. I think just because of the road situation, and it's a gauntlet of a week for Iowa, so that's where I'd go. I think it's going to be right around. I was going to say 6 number, Maryland by 6 or so. That's probably what I would say. But I would not once again be shocked if Iowa won, just because this team feels right now that it's different. I know there'll be people like, oh, but they'll do the Fran fade starting in February. The February Fran fade. I know people will say that, and it might happen.
That's going to be this. I always like to, when we talk about recklessly speculate, what's going to be the Civil War? That's the question I always ask, like Kaker, like going into this season, what's going to be the Civil War on Twitter? What's going to split Iowa fans? And I think you just nailed it right there. The people that buy in and the ones that don't want to buy in. It's going to be the Fran fade's going to come. That's going to be your Civil War on Twitter, where Iowa fans are. You're going to have the naysayers.
Hashtag Fran fade.
Yeah, that's not happening with my guy though.
No,
not this year. Not this year. Is Sunday, not looking too far ahead, is Sunday the battle for the Cody? Because that's what the Illinois people are telling me on Twitter, answering back. They're saying you can't give him Cody yet. Sunday is going to be the time, the battle.
I think right now it's a 3-horse race with Peichel, Underwood, and Fran.
Okay.
They play again. I don't know. We'll see. Illinois in the metrics isn't. People don't like the net and the KenPom and Sagarin. They don't like Illinois because I think it's because their non-con schedule. But they've been good, and I think it's those 3. I don't think Sunday's not going to determine it because there's a lot of season left. But I will say if Illinois comes in here and wins, especially after getting the doors blown off them twice last year. Remember, they lost the Big Ten tournament by 20? Lost here by 30. Like they didn't compete with Iowa last year. So that to me is like the underlying thing. Like Illinois got embarrassed twice. They got to have a chip on their shoulder. Like regardless of how well they're playing this year, even if they were average, they'd still have to have a chip on their shoulder to get embarrassed by this team twice. So I'm expecting a fantastic game, high scoring, sold out crowd. I think, maybe other than Michigan State last year where there was a good buzz, I think it might be the best atmosphere here in the last couple 3 years that they've had over there, just because of there's going to be Illinois fans there. I mean, it's 2 of the top 4 teams in the Big Ten. Just be fun. And I think there's going to be a lot of people there because it's Super Bowl Sunday. I think it's a good time.
What is it, 2 o'clock tip-off?
Noon.
Oh, yeah. Look
at
perfect. Do that and then go right
It's a perfect timing. So I think people might get sauced up at up at the Vine at 10 or whatever and walk up like whatever.
This is one of the games I was frozen out of for the press pass. I have no idea why. Maybe Illinois, I guess. All right. Speaking of a good atmosphere, Friday night. We've got Iowa versus Penn State, number 1 versus number 2. First time number 1 versus number 2 since 1986. Iowa's wrestling-wise is looking really, really well. But Penn State's had their number. Iowa hasn't beaten them since 2015. This is,
nobody in the Big Ten's beaten them since 2015.
Looking at Carver, this is going to be insane. It has a chance to be. It's going to be tough if Carver sits 15-5.
What is the indoor record? I saw you put that out there.
15-9-9-8 is the indoor record. Penn State got against Iowa in 2018. You have to do 500 standing room.
That's
only.
why Cody Goodwin from the Register asked Brands, can they put Fire Marshal going to let you have 16 in there?
Yeah.
We'll see.
Is that what they're projecting?
2 more? 2 more than the record?
2 more than the record. I mean, the all-time record is the outdoor event against Oklahoma State, but the indoor is 15-9-9-8. So, all right. What? Let's go through. Let's see what you got. It's actually funny that when you text and say like, "Hey, let's go through the lineup and predict score," because I had a long talk last night with the mayor Bob Gallagher about this as well, and he plays more devil's advocate than anything else, and I think maybe you will too. All right, we're assuming they're going to start at 125.
I would there's no chance they don't. Let's put it that way.
Okay.
I mean, right? I mean,
Yeah.
you
Well,
want
both
to start off with a bang. That's you
How
start
you
with the
do
best wrestler in the country, pound for pound, right? I mean,
Yeah.
he's unbelievable. And the funny thing is, this is one of these things where I don't know who was there if they caught it at the end of the press conference. We were talking about sold out crowd, and Spencer was still in there, and he goes, "Oh yeah, sold out." He's like, "I'm ready." And then Chris Brewer, the wrestling SID, goes, "Yeah, you've wrestled in front of 22,000 fans or whatever at Olympic trials and whatever." He goes, "Yeah, and you know what? But the last time I wrestled in front of a sold out crowd, I got pinned."
He's talking
And he
about
just
Penn State.
no, he's talking about Oklahoma State.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
And he
that's
goes,
right, yeah,
he
yeah.
goes, "So maybe I'll get pinned again. Who knows?" And we all just start laughing.
Yeah.
And we were just dying. And I was like, okay. So starting off 125, it's a fall. Screw the tech fall. It's a fall. Big time player. He's a big time wrestler. He's gonna start with a pin. I'm telling you. He's not gonna work his tilts. He's gonna get a lead, and then he's going for the pin to light up the crowd. I'm telling you. I'm bet the farm on that one. I think he's getting a pin. 6 points.
I put down 5.
He's that kind of kid, right? Like he wants the pin. He's gonna wrestle high tempo, but then I think he's gonna feel it and be like, all right, I gotta go for it. I gotta do it.
Energy. It's gonna do it.
That's your situation where you're like, you're up by 13. If you take him down to his back. The coach is telling you, take him down to his back and get the fall. But he's just the way he's scoring right now. I mean, the 84 to 1.
What is it, 84 to 1? Yeah, I mean,
84 to 1 in the first period and the last 5 opponents is insane. It's incredible. You haven't seen scoring like this since Ironside. So, all right. Then we got DeSanto versus RBY. Roman Bravo Young. Number 2 versus number 3 or 4, depending on the rankings. When I put out the rankings, I just took the highest one out overall. I'm not going to slash it, break it down between intermat track or win or anything like that. 2 versus 3. Both, RBY is undefeated. DeSanto has 1 loss. What are you looking like here?
You know, I obviously the 65 and 74 matches, 1 versus 2, that gets all the appropriate hype and headlines. I think this might be the key to the match. 133. I think
this is the same one Mayor Bob Gallagher said is the key.
If Lee starts it off with 5 or 6, which we all expect, you have the crowd rocking. Even a DeSanto decision, a win, you're up 9-0, 8-0. That's exactly where Iowa needs to be. If the young kid can come out and somehow get an upset, I mean, that stuns the crowd. That takes away a ton of the momentum. And then the funny thing is, 141, 99% is going to be a Penn State win, right?
Yep.
So that 133, I think, getting the early momentum, being up 8-9-0, everybody's loose and free. All right, we're ready to go. If it's 5-3 or 6-3, then Penn State's going to be either tied or in the lead after 141. That's when the mental game comes into it. So I wrote down it's just huge for momentum. It's huge to keep the crowd into it.
Mm-hmm.
So I put DeSanto, just a decision. I think it's going to be very close. A third period match for sure.
I have DeSanto as the decision as well. But everything you said, I co-sign 100%. That 33, if there's a loss, that'll kill the crowd.
And
it'll make Iowa. I'm sorry, I don't care the mentality of Iowa. This and that. It'll make them second guess everything because and again, I'm piggybacking what I talked to Bob about last night. He's just like they've had their number, and that's one of those things. Sometimes it's hard to get over those bonus points, and we'll talk about that later. The possibility of that happens. But I do have DeSanto with the decision. Then you have 141. You got the number 1 ranked kid in the nation, Nick Lee from Penn State, and it'll be Murrin or Happel.
It's going to be Happel.
It is.
Tom ruled out Murrin. He's still injured.
Okay.
So it'll be Carter, right?
Yeah.
Carter Happel.
Great Twitter handle, too, by the
Nick
way.
Lee, Spencer Lee said he would have roomed with him had he gone to Penn State. One of the better 41-pounders in the country. It would have been nice to see Murrin and him wrestle, but I have this one down as a fall for Penn State.
Okay.
I think they know. The thing is, they know they have to. They're not the favorites. I think they know they're outmatched, especially without the Berge kid at 151 who's still out with concussion. I think they know they're going to be outmatched, so I think they want to get to intermission with, at least 9 points, and that'll probably take a fall in there, right? I mean, I don't think they're going to win 3 of the first 5, so I gave it a fall to Nick Lee at 41. for 6 for Penn State.
I just had this in the back of my head, decision for Penn State, and the only reason why is just my buddies just that was huge for Iowa. I don't know why I had that in the back of my head. That was it. That Carter just showed up. That was huge for Iowa. That's what I had. Again, it could go either way. That's the one thing that Carter knows. I mean, his background is legit, and stay off his back and be a smart wrestler.
Yeah, great wrestling family, right? Doesn't he have a ton of brothers and stuff?
Yeah.
Where's he from? Lisbon?
Yep, he's from Lisbon. So I gave the decision there. All right, then we go to 149. Lugo, who I'm sorry, I know he was ranked 1. I know he's upset. He's just wrestled with a lack of emotion his last 2 times out.
And the interesting thing, talking about 33, 41, like if they do lose that early momentum at 33, Lee from Penn State wins at 41. Lugo's not a high tempo wrestler. He's not a big takedown guy. He's not gonna tech fall anybody. That's not his style. Then you see how the crowd starts worrying. There's some doubt creeping because he should win, right? I mean, I don't think he's gonna. I'd be surprised if he.
By the way, yeah.
I'm surprised if he obviously loses. And last week, I know he kind of got robbed, but that kid from Ohio State was good too. Like he doesn't wrestle with the tempo. He kind of reminds me of.
Don't get caught up in the Carver crazies booing at a referee.
He reminds me a little bit of Corey Clark, who, just because he's really good and really strong, and I think he, especially riding and like he's good on top and keeping but he doesn't take down, let you up. He's not high tempo like DeSanto, like Lee, even like Marinelli. He's not going to score a bunch. So I have it as a decision, but that's where I think it's just like who else is going to electrify the crowd if they lose at 33? Like who's the next in that first
it's not
5?
Gonna be till after break.
Exactly. And that's where that 33 match is so big. So yeah, Lugo with the 3, and then 57, Caleb Young. I don't know. The Berge kid is listed. I don't think he's got a chance, right? I was reading some. He's wrestled once or twice this year. He got a concussion in an Olympic or a national thing, I think in the off season, and he hasn't come back. But he was ranked, I think, in the top 5 entering the season. Like he's good, but he's had concussion and just symptoms from that. So him not wrestling, because that's another marquee matchup there where him and Caleb Young would be phenomenal, but it's Caleb Young versus a guy that's, I think 500 on the season. So that'll go.
Bo Pfeiffer from he's 8-9 on the season, and this is the one that you kind of need bonus points to get the crowd going into that break.
I just have it as a decision. I agree with you. I have it as just another decision for Young.
Yes. Then you come out of break.
So what are we at break? What's your?
I've got looks like 9-14 to 3.
So I'm at 15-6.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. How are you at 15-6?
Right?
Wait, who?
Lee Pin, so that's 6. DeSanto 3, that's 9, and then 2 more. That's 15. 2 more decisions. I was winning 4 of the first 5. They just give up a pin in the other one.
Oh, you gave a pin. All right. Yeah. And I give the. All right. Then we got the bull, Marinelli against Vincenzo Joseph, 1 versus 2. This is going to be the one that everyone's going to be talking about, waiting, coming out of break, and people are going to be firing up, ready to go. I don't know where to go. I mean, I'm telling you, I've got this is where I just think the Penn State, we're still kind of chasing, and I know it's individual and everything else. I've got Penn State in the decision here.
Okay. I have the bull winning in the decision. Is he 2-0 against Vincenzo?
Yes.
Hasn't lost. For some reason, I feel like he's got his number. And I think he wrestles really, really, really well at home. He's undefeated at Carver Hawkeye. So I have Alex winning there. Quick funny story. The first year I was here, I covered the national duels or national tournament in St. Louis. And I was at the hotel, just a hotel lobby, hotel bar, whatever. And sitting there, I was talking to, I can't remember who it was, somebody's parents from Minnesota, because it was like the Minnesota hotel. And then there's people with Penn State stuff, so they come sit down, so we're all talking to him, and it's Joseph's mom and dad. And it's the night before he wrestles Imart.
Oh, yeah.
For the title.
Yeah.
And we're talking, and we're like, hey, he's like, well, it's like these guys, he's like, Sanderson, everybody, they're just so different. He's like, the way the mental games and the way they train these guys. He's like, I don't know what'll happen, but he's like, obviously, he's like, I don't think he's going to be scared of Imart. And then that's when remember that when he flipped him and pinned him, like just bowled him over. That was one of the more electric college wrestling things I've seen in person. I could see it going your way too. I mean, these guys are gamers. Like when you're at this level and you've done it before, you've won national titles. 16,000 at Carver Hawkeye isn't going to affect you. I think the biggest thing is that Marinelli has beaten him twice, and he's done it two different ways. Like he was trailing Joseph the first time they wrestled at State College, and then he did you remember what he did? He did, I can't remember the move, but he got 4 points, and it completely turned the match, and then he ended up winning by like 2, I think. But he was down, and I can't remember the move. I'm not as well versed.
Yeah.
And then the last one last year in the Big Ten, he just beat him flat out, dominated 9-3. So
he had a great Big Ten run there last year too, though.
So I think so we're split there. 74. This might be my Minnesota bias coming in. I have another fall for Penn State.
Apple Valley, a fall over ChemDog.
I'm telling you, man. Mark Hall's only lost to Valencia, right? The last 2 years,
I don't have him losing.
There's no chance. I don't think Kemmer. I don't think Kemmer has a shot in this match.
I don't have. That's
other than his first 2 or 3 matches of freshman year, he's lost to Zahid Valencia twice, and that's it. He's like 60 something and 2.
You got a decision for all, but
I got it as a fall because I think Mark Hall's has got the Spencer Lee gene. I think they're
okay.
I mean, Mark Hall, he kind of reminds me of what is it? Nickel. Nickel was like that too, where like they just show up and then they're just like, I'm going to pin you. I don't care. Like. And I don't know, maybe Kemmer will be fine. Is Kemmer used to wrestling at his weight, and like, is he there? Is he fully at 174? Like, does he have? Is his body and his mind on the same wavelength when you've added 15 pounds, and now you're wrestling a guy that's wrestled at that weight for 3 years?
That's true. The next 3 out, I've got Iowa across the board, but all decisions.
I got him at 2 or 3. I think 97. I think Shaheed, veteran guy.
I looked at that one long and hard.
Veteran
that was
guy.
The one I was thinking of, but then I think of Warner's pedigree out of Washington, Illinois, and I was like, I gave Warner the head. I did look at that one. That was 2 out of 3. That's the one that gave me pause.
Yeah, definitely. And I also think a Hall pin would keep them in it. I think just a decision at that point, it's almost a foregone conclusion that Iowa wins the duel then, the way I have it scored out.
I've got Iowa winning 23-9.
At 24-15.
And I'm incredibly biased, by the way. So
24-15. I wrote you have Penn State winning. I said Penn State's got to win both those 2 matches to win the match. I think they have to win 64 or 65 and 74 to win. In my opinion,
yes,
they have to win them both. They might even need some bonus points out of them. But I definitely think they have to get that's 6
bonus points is the only way that's going to keep Penn State in this.
If Iowa splits there, provided they already have the lead going into intermission, Then those guys are going to, you need a pin. You'd have to get a pin at heavyweight, and you'd have to get probably a major or something at 97.
Before the show, that's all Baumeier were talking about was bonus points. She came right in. She's like, it's coming down to bonus points for Penn State.
She knows.
Yeah, she came right in, firing up. She's like, hey, I was thinking about this, and it's coming down to bonus points. I'm like, hey, Baumeier, that's a good point. So
I did. I said that. It's true.
We got to take a quick break. It'll only be 2 minutes. Then we got to draw for who's winning the tickets to this Penn State, the Pioneer Showdown tomorrow night at 8 p.m. Carver Hawkeye Arena. I got 2 tickets, fantastic seats, and a parking pass as well. So we got to take a quick break. When we come back, we'll do that. Do you have something to read? I'll read it for you.
Yeah, you read it.
All right. All right, but it's one of Ross's favorites, by the way. Let me tell you about Bayside Bistro in the village of East Davenport. Bayside Bistro is not your ordinary sandwich shop. You won't find deli meat on their menu. They use fresh ingredients, and the orders are made from scratch. From paninis like the Bayside Po' Boy to the roasted beet and green bean salad, Bayside Bistro has an incredible menu that specializes in deliciousness. Don't forget about their smoothies and fresh juices that they make and their incredible dinner entrees. Don't take our word for it. Check out their Facebook page and read the over 500 recommendations from their guests. Stop by Bayside Bistro today at 1105 Christie Street in East Village of Davenport. Remember, if you're having any hosting any private parties, you want any special events, get a hold of them. They'll take care of this. This is locally owned, and you guys know us. We push local places. We'll be right back in just a few minutes, and we'll make our drawing, and then we're going to talk about Class 4A football a bit.
and you're listening to Don't Hassle Us, We're Local on ESPN 1170 AM.
When the soil around your foundation shifts, it can cause serious problems for your home, including bowing, leaning, or cracked basement walls. Helitech's patented wall anchoring system will provide a permanent solution for bowing basement walls and will get the job done right the first time. For basement wall repair, trust Helitech, your hometown foundation repair contractor for over 30 years. Soil constantly expands and contracts, putting pressure against your foundation, causing it to bow or crack. Helitech is the area's only contractor that uses AB Chance, an American-made wall anchoring system to provide a permanent solution for bowing or cracked foundation walls. Helitech proudly services Central Illinois, the Quad Cities, Central Missouri, Southern Illinois, Southeast Missouri, Western Kentucky, and the greater St. Louis regions. When it comes to basement cracks, don't ignore the problem. Trust Helitech to heal your home. Give yourself peace of mind knowing they will find the root of the problem, the solution, and heal it for a lifetime.
Heal your home with Helitech.
Online sports betting is here with EliteSportsbook.com. If you are an active Rhythm City Casino Resort Club member, go to EliteSportsbook.com now and follow the prompts to start betting. Not a Resort Club member? Visit Rhythm City to join today. Bet with Elite Sportsbook at Rhythm City Casino Resort or online now. More ways to get in the game with EliteSportsbook.com and Rhythm City Casino Resort. Must be 21. Gambling a problem? Call 1-800-BETS-OFF.
Hello, this is Tony Townsend with Town Square Media and Town Square Ignite. Have you ever been shopping online, booking hotels, or even looking at airfare and that product, room, or flight follows you everywhere else you go online and in your social media? Well, that's what Town Square Ignite can do for your business. We provide that same national service here locally. We service thousands of accounts nationally, from large to small, with no hidden setup fees, creative fees, or even contracts. If you can envision this working for your organization, contact us today at 309-644-0167.
Can't leave the office during lunch? You can still listen to Don't Hassle Us, We're Local on the ESPN 1170 app. Download it today and never miss a thing from the Quad City sports leader, ESPN 1170.
Here in the Hassle Castle, brought to you by Done Right TV and Security. We just got done previewing the game tonight, the Iowa basketball game, talking about the wrestling meet tomorrow night. It's going to be close to, we assume, 16,000 going to be at Carver. It's going to be nuts. Reminder that you can go to ESPN 1170 AM where you have links and certain things like their CAM bus is going to be free starting 90 minutes before the meet to get there. Parking is going to be crazy, and it's going to be a lot of fun. We want to thank Jorgensen Insurance for giving us these tickets to give away. If you guys followed us on ESPN 1170, we wrote a little blog, and most importantly, what you had to do was I wanted you to go and vote for one of our local area wrestlers. We had 4 girls win state titles at the Iowa Wrestling Coaches Official Association. 3 of them won their back-to-back state titles. And so I had you just go vote for Mr. or Miss Gable Wrestler of the Year. You screen snapped it. You put it in comments. We had like close to 100 people do it, which is great. It really is. So all the names are in there. I printed them all up, and
Want me to do it, or you're doing it?
I want you to do it. You have the honors.
Okay.
Well, first,
thanks to John, and get well soon, John. I know he's missing the match because of a procedure. I talked to him on Monday at the basketball game, so get well soon, John. Hopefully see you at the one of the next basketball and wrestling matches here coming up. So, all right.
This is exciting.
Without further ado.
What you got?
Waiting for the last name.
Don Caraglio.
Dawn Craglio. All right, I will message her on Facebook.
You know who it is?
I know. Well, I typed up all the names. So I went through every single comment. Yeah, so I know the name or whatever. So I don't know. I don't know
that
her
is
personally.
Italian. If I ever.
I don't know her personally, but I'm the one that went and typed up all the names and put it on there. So I'll get a hold of Dawn and figure out if she can pick them up here. Obviously, I don't think she probably doesn't want me to put a will call because of parking pass. So
yeah.
So she'll want to pick them up here. But I want to thank everybody for voting for those young athletes, those high school athletes, and it's important. And it's nice. It's a nice thing that Iowa Wrestle puts that together to do that award thing for them as well. All right, speaking of local preps, I gave you a thing, and we don't have a lot of time on this, something to elaborate, but it's something that came like right before. I mean, I sent it to you right after. I just said, can I talk about this? And was told, yes, you can. This started actually with an idea that Cedar Rapids Gazette wrote something in November about how the Iowa Football Coaches Association, they would like to see the number of playoff participants to increase from 16 to 24. All right, and so the proposal would make 7 districts of 6 schools in Class 4A, and I'm only talking about Class 4A, so I'm going to stop there. But there goes on 3A, 2A, 1A, A player, what they want to do. 7 districts of 6 schools in Class 4A. But back then in November, the top 3 teams in each 4A district would qualify for the playoffs, with 3 additional wildcard qualifiers. All right, that's where you get to your number. This situation that they're going to go to, apparently, is they're going to make 6 different tiers of 7 teams apiece. So there's 42. Now, the situation here is when you make your schedule, this is where it just gets crazy. I mean, this is when you make your schedule is that like a tier 1 team, let's just say for our area, we'll just say Bettendorf's a tier 1, okay? They would have to they'd have to play 2 games against other tier 1 teams. 1 game against a tier 2 team, 1 against a tier 3 team, and 1 against a tier 4 team.
Okay.
The other 4 games will be assigned based on who wants to play, the stuff they already do outside of district.
Yeah.
So if you want to keep something like, we'd like to, keep our rivalry with, I don't know, or Assumption going, or whatever else. You get to decide. But does this look like just a big mess to you, Rosso?
I feel like scheduling's going to be tough.
It's an AD's nightmare, right?
It's just like that's going to be very challenging. And the thing that I was going to say is like it'd be cool if we're going to get to see, Dowling and Bettendorf do a home and home and Valley and PV, but I don't think we will, right? I think it's going to be they're going to play Cedar Rapids and the Dubuque schools like they do right now, and it's going to be I don't know, very similar, right? Like it's going to be I don't know. I guess I don't know how it's like. I don't know how it's going to change much. I guess I see how they don't want, West isn't going to play Bettendorf every year because they only have 1 school that's tier 4 if you're looking at historical results, right? And some of those Des Moines schools aren't going to match up with Dowling.
But you're going to have to play 1 tier 1.
Yeah.
And if you're an AD, you don't want to spend money on travel. So you're going to have to reach
that's what
out.
I mean.
Because right now, if you're looking in this area in eastern Iowa, it's going to be, honestly, right now, if you're at Bettendorf, Cedar Falls, maybe City West, maybe City High, and pick a Cedar Rapids school, but we don't know which one's going to be good that year. We don't know if it's going to be Kennedy, Washington, or Prairie. Like, we just don't know. North Scott's not going up to 4A. So if you're West...
So you can't play, like they can't, one of those, you can't schedule a 3A school in this?
Oh, you're either 4, but if you're a tier... It goes the opposite. If you're a tier 4 team, you still have to play a tier 1 because they have to schedule you. Like... You can't avoid it to just be like, it is a huge cluster, and I don't know if we're looking for parity or what we're doing here or anything like that.
I mean, I don't. The 2 things I'd like to see would be more. What's the? Pardon my ignorance here. Whatever the conference is that all the Des Moines schools play in. The
CIML.
There you go. Yeah. I'd like to see more crossover between them playing the Cedar Rapids and Quad Cities teams. And I think they still need to address open enrollment if they want to actually address the concept of parity.
Mm-hmm.
And that's something that they need to do, that you need to establish residency in the district if they want to be serious about it, because no one wants to play for an 0-9 football team every year. No one wants to come out. That's how you lose numbers. And no one wants to coach there. I mean, look at some of the coaches that have gone, even to Peters at West, doing a great job. You get burnt out because it's a lot. It's tough when you got to convince guys to play and you're constantly trying to field the team. Whereas the other places, when you got tons of numbers, like the kid, it just kind of it perpetuates itself and the guys buy in and there's tradition. So that to me is how you address the parity. It's a complicated issue, but I think that ultimately that's what has to be done. If they're trying to address parity through scheduling, it's not going to work.
Funding, isn't the funding significantly different?
The 24 that would get there would be based on RPI. So I mean, let's see, almost over half of the Class 4A gets in.
I like Illinois' schedule or Illinois' playoffs the best. You got to win 5. You get a point system based on the level you play, who you play, drop up, drop down. That to me of the 4 places I've lived has been the most efficient, the best.
Quick before we have to go, what's your prediction for the Super Bowl?
I'm going 31-24 Niners.
31-24 Niners. All right. Thank you so much,
Deebo
Rosso.
Samuel. The game changer, the MVP.
And I like that. All right.
No.
Thank you so much for coming. Thanks to Dan Escontrias for joining us today. You guys have a hassle-free Thursday. Enjoy yourselves, Quad Cities. We will see you tomorrow.
Chiropractic Studios. This is the Quad Cities sports leader, ESPN 1170 AM, KBOB, Davenport.